John Dub in the house, ladies and gentlemen.
Mr. Christopher Shelor, it's always good to see you, man.
You too, man. How's life been? Tell the people what's going on, man.
Well, I've been busy, obviously. Not been doing my podcasts. Shame on me for not doing your week with John W. All three people are very disappointed, so I've got to make sure that I get back on that grind. Going in a different direction. I've been saying that for a while, but now I've got things crisp and clean, and some personal stuff is good to go. So now I think we're going to see some big things in a few weeks.
Okay. So you had a little bit of hiccup there, like so staying busy, and now you're kind of gotten over it. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. You know how work and life and everything else goes.
Oh, for sure, dude.
For
sure.
I'm glad you're picking back up on the game. Too busy snapping necks and throwing people with the jiu-jitsu.
Yeah. That's my new thing, yeah. I'm doing about once or twice a week, but slowly, maybe picking back up on content making as far as podcasting, bringing it back in.
Good.
Still, like what you're just talking about, the direction, everything, and where to go to, but
right.
I'm finding it's better when I do them in person, and I get more out of it. And I think that was a kick for me.
So for me, specifically, similar-ish issues. Like, I was having problems, like the your week, the content and stuff like that. And cheers to bringing it in. Thanks for having me
Yeah,
over.
yes, sir.
Ugh.
That's good.
Man, it's so hot outside I put ice in my whiskey. But, similar, like doing this in person is fun. It feels genuine. There's like a little more of that connection, the spark, the je ne sais quoi, whatever. And I love watching those podcasts, and you've seen them, where people are they're talking in a room. And it's really interesting when you get that multi-person vibe, or at least there's two people just talking, because you feel like you're in the room as opposed to watching the Zoom call. And I think a lot of people after the last 3 years are burnt the fuck out on watching Zoom calls.
Seriously. Yeah, I mean, that was me. Just, when I first started, I was really focusing into it and going hard with it. And that was the only way to get guests, was the main reason, besides just doing it in person or whatever. But especially, not everybody lives in Southwest Virginia.
No.
Yeah, and so to get, other guests, you had to Zoom them in. I mean, plus, I can't fly people in and put them up and stuff at this point.
Yeah.
So
I mean, if you could, then you're doing a lot better than I am.
But it's good we have that technology to do that. But also, to your point, though, I was just like, man, I get tired of watching the screen, and just the energy wasn't there for me anymore. In the beginning, it was. But it didn't. I think I can't remember if I told you, but a couple Zoom calls, I was looking at my phone at one point, and I was like, "Oh shit, I need to stop doing this."
Yeah, and it's
I'm not in this conversation. I'm in it, but I'm not.
Right. And between that and like people working out schedules, it's a little more. I want to say like the level of dedication is there more when you're in person. Like you're not fiddling with your phone unless like we started talking about something I needed to look up real quick. Mm-hmm. And there's also like. I feel like it's easier to cancel a Zoom call too than if you're canceling in person, because
like
when it's like I can't make the call, can we move it half an hour and stuff like that. In person, there's more of that. Well, I'm in it, I'm committed, I'm doing it, so let's just go ahead and proceed. So I was on the show I was doing. It was getting people and doing those cuts for like having a weekly guest spot.
Right.
And dude, there was one point in time you were burning through like 5 a week or more. And I was like, how the fuck? Because I was trying to get one every week, every other week.
Right.
And, eventually I was just like, I've ran through all the people in my group, friends that were interested in it. Like, we'd done several already at that point. And then Devin, of course, he was also on Cat Rancher. Thanks for that, buddy. And it's just like, all right, how do I start reaching out to more people? And I just didn't put the time and energy into it, frankly. And because it's a lot of damn work. I appreciate podcasts now, and I'm sure you do. Because of how much work and I think, do you ever watch the show The Marvelous Miss Maisel?
That's comedian kind of thing?
Yeah, 50s female comedian.
Yeah, I haven't watched it, but I know what you're talking about.
So they finished up the season, I would say, a couple months ago. Or series, actually. So season 5 finale done. They tied it, wrapped it with a bow. But at one point in time, there's a Johnny Carson-esque, Jimmy Fallon type late night host, and they do it 5 times a week. And there's one person's job. All they did was make sure to have the guest line up for the week. That was the entirety of their job. A over 40-hour week, just calling people, booking them for these minutes, 5-minute slots or whatever. and one of the like towards the end of the show, not to give any spoilers, because of difficulties booking, it becomes a thing that allows the main character to potentially not really shine. So
because they couldn't get the certain guests.
Couldn't get the regular guest on. So.
What was the problem? Is that going to be a spoiler? Like, would they get to a point where just like, hey, we don't know who to bring on anymore, or is it just
like you have your guest lineup? So let's say you and me we're doing a live cast instead of like a pre-recorded podcast. So we're not streaming right now,
right?
And a couple times we did some streaming, and I think we did that on Twitch and Facebook. Facebook shit the bed on me real hard. Remember that? I was like, "Is this thing on?" And it was not. And I'm halfway blame myself and 3/4 blame Facebook,
right?
Because fuck Mark Zuckerberg.
No, go ahead. Well, one thing with that though, do you know who Bobby Altoff is now?
I do not.
Okay, she blew up overnight, and she's like the newest podcast. She had Drake on her podcast. Funny Marco. Mark Cuban was just on there.
Okay, I know.
And everyone's
2 of the 3.
Okay, and he's like a comedian, the Funny Marco guy. He's pretty funny. But anyway,
I hope so. It's in his name.
But yeah, it was like everyone's like, where the hell she come from? And like she got on TikTok and was just like saying, hey, I'll pay people $300 if you can get Drake or this person to say like, hey, be on my podcast and stuff. Because everyone was like, how do you get Drake on your like first episode or whatever? No one knows who you are. So just by doing things like that is how she was getting these big time guests, and how her podcast immediately blew up overnight. People were like, what is going on? Like, who is this person? And plus she has this little, and she's not saying she's amazing. She's cool. I mean, she's got a good, what's the word am I looking for? Skit that she does. Like she kind of just sits her whole time and like acts like an asshole, but not an asshole. Like,
all right, like tries to be hard.
Yeah, basically, but she won't really call you out or something. Like she'll be like, so like for one example, Drake said something, and she's like, "Are you hitting on me?" And like Drake's like, "I'd do it," and she was I'm it or something like that.
I mean, maybe she isn't it.
Yeah. But I think I heard her on another interview, and she's just like a kind of a cool, laid back, young Laguna Beach type person. And
all right.
But anyway, yeah, I guess she's trying to get her podcast to go off and be crazy, which is all props to her for doing it. But
you talked about that, like getting bigger and better guests on the show, and maybe that's the next step for you.
Yeah.
Because you got like you went through the cycles, you got the chops, you got that nice flow going where you're interactive with people. So like that work's been done. It's now the next steps.
Yeah. Well, you got to get that star power, I think, to draw in interest. Like obviously no one knows who she was, but everyone knows Drake, right? The whole world does. And so it's like everyone just watched the podcast and just enjoyed it. So that's what I was saying. Like, okay, you got it bigger and better guests, and that's just how you go and take off. But also I do enjoy just getting like you, Devin, whoever, just come on here and
locals.
Just like the boys, and let's just sit down and like that's a lot of fun for me rather than trying to be like, all right, now what am I going to talk to this person about? What can I bring up? What can I not bring up? And we can just be myself and just chill, relax, have a glass of whiskey, and it's
maybe
just
2 glasses.
Yeah, maybe even 2 glasses. It just takes all the, I don't want to say anxiety, but just all the
pressure.
Yeah, there you go. All the pressure, because it's just like, hey, I'm catching up with Jon tonight or whatever, and we're just chilling, and want it to be like the same way if we were at the bar talking or restaurant getting food or whatever. I mean, a little bit filtered more on here, but for the most part, same.
I will yell "fuck them kids" in a restaurant. Like I don't give a shit. But I mean, only if the kids are acting up.
No.
I don't hate on the children directly. It's just the parents that raise little assholes.
Nice. But besides podcasting though, so you frisbee golf today, man.
Man, it was good, but it was hot. I mean, I think right now it's 3 Eastern-ish, and it's still hot as fuck. And we were playing quick 18.
Okay.
And it was the first 9 holes are great. It's all shaded. It's in the woods. I would say the ambient temperature outside is 85-ish right now. You're probably looking at 75. It's fantastic. Perfect weather, going, throwing, just having a blast with the guys.
Yeah.
And then we stepped out on the back 9, and it's all open field, which is great if you're just looking to sling disc, but it is dog shit if you're not wearing a hat, sunscreen, and a sun shirt. I was sweating my balls off.
Shit.
And it was fun, but by the time I was done, thankfully I thought to bring another shirt.
Nice.
Because otherwise it'd look like I just jumped in the pool.
Nice. How's How's the course? Is it a full weight team?
Yeah.
They full weight team?
That's good.
Okay.
Randolph, for those who want to visit the Southwest Virginia area.
Pulaski, right? Or
Yeah,
Dublin.
good old, one of the two.
They're kind of one and the same, ain't they? Sort of.
I don't understand the difference, but I know that there probably is one.
It's kind of like Radford and Fairlawn, sort of.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Fairlawn's in Radford, but it's also part of its own thing, yeah. But it's next to it, except for when it's not, but it is. So I'm like, it's all the New River Valley.
Is Dublin classified as a city?
Yeah, it's the biggest city in the world.
Oh.
You know that, right? Because every day it's Dublin.
But
there you go. That's why we drink.
That was quick and clever, but it took me a minute. They're like, what are you talking about? But anyway, go ahead. Sorry, man.
No, that was it. Played some golf. It was great. And jumped over here and ready to do a smooth podcast. And honestly, I want to bitch about the fact that we can never seem to get the guys together to game. I've been working with Elgato because I got a lot of my shit through them. And so
actually working with a company, or you mean like buying? Oh, to get it.
No. Like their help desk, because my shit was fucking up, and I was angry as hell.
Okay,
and
I thought you were saying like you about to get sponsored or something here.
Yeah, I'm about to get sponsored because I spent like $1,000 on that shit, and I'm like, what the fuck, guys? Like you're supposed to be the premier brand. Why the fuck can't I go? And after hooking into everything, my stuff fails more often than it doesn't.
Yeah. And
so they worked with me, and there's a lot of very specific key settings that you need to do that you may or may not know. And
I wouldn't know. I mean, I haven't really messed with any of the Elgato stuff. I've seen your, what do you call it, the Stream Deck? I've seen that.
Yeah.
That looks pretty good.
The Stream Deck's fun. It's not as fundamentally important to me actually being able to do the cast. I can just do fun stuff on it. And the main thing was being able to get voice, because when you're chatting on like Call of Duty servers, Gears of War, which all 5 people that play that, and the 5 of them are all in South America. But like getting that interactivity where we're talking, like we just played Diablo 4 a couple months ago, back when it was still fun, and
it's not fun anymore.
I mean,
we know, but I don't want to go on a side tangent. But
I'll sidebar real quick. Diablo 3 and 2 were great games. I mean, 3 had its issues, but what they've done is they've kind of locked it into being a little more grindy, instead of just giving you that immediate gratification of 0 to level 80 in a couple hours if you have a high level friend.
Okay.
Like you've really got to put in the work to make your character a high level. And that's great and all, but that's not what Diablo is. Diablo is where I sit down for 2 hours and I either just beat the dog shit out of some stuff to farm equipment, or I'm a level 1 character. I want to play with my friends who are level 90, and I want to be level 92. I don't want to have the scaling system that they've done. It's like, oh, everybody can play together. It's like, no. I want to be powerful without having to go through the work. That is why I play video games instead of running up the corporate ladder right now. It's like either or. But if I have to put in the same amount of work, I'm going to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Which we got to talk about that later.
Okay. Yeah, make sense on that. But so going back to the Elgato stuff.
So I worked with them and was like, all right, guys, let's walk through this. How do I get the audio from the group chat into the recording? Because people could hear me just fine. And I'm like, all right, people love hearing me. Usually they don't. Depends on the mood.
Right.
But also, if we're having a banter, a back and forth, it would be like the podcast saying, hey, Chris, what's going on?
Yeah.
And you're like, yeah, but you didn't hear what the hell I said. So you just said, yeah. And it makes it weird and awkward, and people can see the screen, they can hear me, but there's no context. If I'm like, fuck, come back here. It's like, well, wait, where's the other people? Why is he yelling? What's going on? Like, oh, I can't believe you just said that shit. It's like, well, what shit did they just say?
Okay.
And you lose a lot of interest very, very quickly, including myself. Like, I try to watch those videos. I'm like, fuck this.
Yeah, like, what's this guy doing? He's talking to himself out here?
Yeah. So he's talking to himself. I see other people running around, but what does it matter? Yeah.
So what was the solution? Did they figure out there was a solution to get the group chat
so
into the recording?
So I've got a set, and I think I put it on one of my videos, what I have as my setup. So I have the Xbox Series S, not X. And through that, I run the Elgato capture card. And from the capture card, I also have a SteelSeries headset that I did manage to get it to run through. Elgato has a cord that you can buy that actually runs into a supplemental audio. Okay. So I've hooked that in there, and I've got the audio to flow through. And now with chats and group games, you can hear and have the recording of both. There's also some issues with the capture card that if there was a discrepancy between what you were streaming versus if there was a dynamic setting on Xbox or the game. Because Call of Duty was great. It consistently failed to record if I had a great game, but it consistently streamed when I shit the bed. So I was super happy about that because it's like, look at me in this great game. Dude, you cut a bullet in the face consistently every 3 seconds. But then it's like I murked 15 people and it's like, no signal. Like,
damn.
So, but I mean, I got it fixed. Now I'm just waiting to get the guys together, do a little stream, a little cast. And also, that's part of going back to hanging out with the people, the boys.
That's what we do.
You know, we talk a lot of trash, and the trash is fun if you hear it from both sides. It's
Exactly.
Not fun. It's not fun if you're hearing it from, like, one side.
So is that your plan to, like, start streaming again, but have it more that type of streams, where just like the group chat Friday night video game episodes?
I prefer that, even if it's not every Friday or like once a month.
Yeah, just
something that's it's fun, it's genuine. Not that when I play games, I'm doing it for the gram. Like I'm playing the games and like, hey, let's check this out, let's see what's going on.
Yeah.
But you know, it feels genuine. Like getting on there and hearing people scream and cuss while or like talking shit when we're like playing feels right. I mean, that's what we grew up with. You know, we were doing the gaming in person, and then Xbox, PlayStation 2, like, okay, let's get a little more of playing online. And I mean, I even grew up with Master Race early, so I was doing MMORPGs and stuff like that. So, like, being able to just be a part of that larger gaming group is super fun.
Yeah. Do you think that, you know, we're talking about Gears a little bit here, but you got to stay with, like, whatever popular game is going right now, or is it kind of...
So it's a mixed bag, and you know my buddy, One Big Al.
Yeah.
Yeah,
he's been on the cast. Shout out.
Yeah. And so right now he's doing a lot of Fortnite, and we couldn't get him on Diablo. Like it's just not his style of game. So it didn't make sense for him to spend his streaming and gaming time playing a game that he wasn't fond of, even though Diablo was the new hotness. Like now, Baldur's Gate 3, I have specifically told myself I'm not buying that game. It is amazing.
Yeah.
It looks fantastic. And the gaming programming community is bitching to no end because they released a full game, no bugs, no DLC. It's just a full game. You know, like when we were children and you bought that shit and it was done.
Yeah.
And gaming companies were like, well, you can't expect this of games. And I'm like, you know what? Fuck you, we can. Like, they did it. Like, well, they spent years and years developing this. Okay.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. It's like, I'm sorry. I wait and I spend time for, like, all of these, I want to say, like, high-end titles. Like Mario. Whenever Mario comes out, I know what I'm in for. It may be a 3D platformer, probably a 2D platformer, but they're going to make one of those, maybe two a system. And it's going to be good.
No doubt.
And there's not going to be this DLC nonsense that I'm like, oh, I want to beat Bowser. I got to spend another $20 just to be able to fight him. Get him, dogs.
Why'd you bring that in here?
Because they know we're talking.
Yeah, exactly.
I couldn't get your dog to stop licking my leg earlier.
But yeah, so that's one. I guess one thing is like, is that part of it? Just having to play those types of games. Even like, I don't want to play this, but I got to play it to get the content out of it. Because more people are like typing in Fortnite to watch those games rather than Gears 5 anymore, Gears whatever we're playing, right? How many people want to go watch that right now?
I mean, I want to watch it. It's mostly from our perspective. I think it'd be funny to hear the commentary, the shit that we talk, and that would be the value of playing Gears. Because again, nobody cares about that. But you get a game. So again, my buddy plays Fortnite. He's played Fortnite for years. He loves the game. He got his daughter and his girlfriend into the game. They're loving it.
Yeah.
And so for him, it's not only a popular game, but it's a genuine experience. And I think you have to have that blend. You know, so like when I was playing Diablo 3 or 4 now, I played 3 late. 4 now. It was super fun when I was first playing it. Like I had played the beta. I had gotten early access to be able to play it when it first came out. I was pumped. I was excited. I was ready. And part of the experience really dropped. And that's why I just jumped all over Elgato. I was like, what the hell? People can't hear my buddies and I talking. So it's just me randomly giving exposition while I'm playing a game that may or may not have any context because you can't hear the other side of the conversation.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it's, if you're a new podcaster and you're trying to do the streaming thing, I guess if you're a new streamer and you're trying to do that, your focus is going to want to be on the consistency first. So you want to make sure that you're always putting out at that same time, because you'll find your market with your streaming if you have a set time, because somebody's going to dial in and they're going to like it.
Sure.
And then next you find out what your gaming genre is going to be. Are you always on the new thing? Are you a video game reviewer? Like, are you buying games, checking them out, giving your feedback, and you know a lot about video games? Like, at this point, I would consider myself to be like a pretty good judge of the quality of video games. I've played a lot of them, and I played a lot of them.
Right.
And I can tell you, like, oh, this game's got some great mechanics, or oh, this is dog shit. And I have the technical chops to back it up, like over 30 years of experience. Yeah. But, you know, it's whatever you want to do with it. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of people play pre-PlayStation 1 games. They're playing the Nintendo, Super Nintendo. And, I mean, they're getting Facebook does the star system, which you buy stars and you can donate stars. And it's like, I think a star is worth a penny or something. So 500 stars is $5.
Right.
But it's a system. And you can donate to people, and they'll be playing Super Ghosts and Ghouls, which came out for Super Nintendo. And, I mean, this game, again, about 30 years old, 25, 30. People are donating, a couple thousand stars. Is it a lot of money? No, it's not going to, retire you.
Yeah, but it keeps the stream going or the show going or whatever you're trying to do.
Yeah, and you're having a good time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah, that was one thing that I kept wondering, too, like why I kind of took this break. It was that if I should take the show into, like, all right, this is going to be a, review podcast of Legos or whatever it is, and just stay down that road rather than just bounce around to whoever's on and just go around. I like exploring different topics and just talking about random shit, and that's how I learn the best. But also, I think that, well, maybe like what you were just saying, maybe I should have just been like, find a like a Lego review or video game review or whatever it is, and just stay on that road, or just talk about all things, movies and video games and reviews or stuff like that. But I don't know if I would be. I don't know if that would hold my interest, I guess, because I would I'm going to talk about something else tonight,
I think it's a mix of both. And again, I refer to Alex as a real wealth of information. It's more about producing the content consistently than it is about the content necessarily itself. Like, you want to be genuine, because if you produce dog shit consistently, still shit.
Yeah.
But if you're producing content that you care about consistently, then something's going to resonate. People are going to watch it. And having one golden piece of content is not worth having 15 or 20 silver pieces of content, because the algorithm is all about volume. Say what you will, like, I mean, this chick that got Drake on there, I don't know her name. I don't remember it. If I wanted to look up her podcast, I'd be like, where's Drake been recently?
There you go.
And it'd pull up her name. And sure, that's a way of getting some views. Those are short-term views. It's not going to build you that longer relationship with your fans. You may find some fans that way, and it's a great way to, like, really kind of, I guess, juice or steroid up your initial views if you got something to offer. But it's not going to be like, if she doesn't make podcasts for the next 2 months, nobody's going to give a shit.
Right.
Like,
she'll fall off real quick.
Yeah. And then she'd have to go through the same process. And she may end up being like Zach Galifianakis, where he does the Between Two Ferns.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's not overly consistent, but he gets some pretty good people on there. He's really got the star power to pull it.
Right.
So it's not something that, like, I would be like, oh, I'm going to watch this Tuesdays at 8.
Right.
But it is something that if I was like, okay, I'll sit down and, like, burn through some episodes, it's there.
It's almost oversaturated, too, to a point now, because that's one thing I was struggling with, too, with just because almost so many different podcasts out there, so many people doing reviews, just so much content is getting made, and especially just from, because anybody with an iPhone or a phone in general can make content. So I was like, man, and that was one thing I was like, well, maybe I should try to find, like, the next best thing, or, like, whatever people might gravitate towards, other than just reviews and podcasting and stuff. Because, obviously all the big people like Joe Rogan and all them, they got all that covered. And that was one thing I said, well, all right, there's got to be something else. There's got to be something new. There's got to be something different that maybe I could find and try.
Well, and that's your differentiator, is like what you do the same thing but different. I mean, there's thousands of restaurants, there's thousands of grocery stores, there's thousands of car companies, or I guess car lots that sell cars. Like, they all do the same thing, but they each have a differentiator that make them have their certain value.
Sure.
And, you know, that's when you do any business. When you go into business, you either have one of two choices. You're either a low-cost provider, which is like your Walmarts, Dollar Generals, things like that, where you're basically trying to do volume. And that's just pure volume. They don't have anything super great in there. Their things are basically to touch the shelf and move quickly. And then you have your other types of, you know, I mean, man, that is loud.
I know, and usually I remember to get that ball and go hide it, and
yeah,
I forgot this time. It's part of me that's not remembering my usual stuff that I do.
We're here for the dogs.
Sorry, folks. Sorry for this ball that's being. I was hoping he'd kind of walk away and I could grab it real quick. But
nah, he's in it. He's all over it until we leave.
Yeah.
But no, so you either have your low-cost providers or you have your premium providers, and what they do is they specialize in giving a service or a certain attribution that you wouldn't get elsewhere. It's a value add. People always talk about value in business. It's like, well, what value are you bringing to the table? It's like, well, I can do shit cheap. It's like, yeah, but is it good? And if you keep selling yourself cheap, then you find out that eventually your labor is worth nothing, and you're very good at it, but you have to do so much to make a very little bit of money that's not worth it. So you want to build that value, and that's like, you know, your Ferraris, your Lamborghinis. Lamborghini, I think, was funny. They made a shameless plug. Someone's like, why don't I ever see Lamborghini commercials on the TV? Like, our customers aren't the type that sit and watch television.
Hey, I've heard that. Yeah. Because, they're out there grinding, making money, right? They're not sitting here chilling.
Or they're just bloody wealthy.
Yeah. But I guess that's a good point, though, that they don't have to make, when you become a brand like that, you don't have to make TV commercials. I mean, I don't even know if they make any type of commercials or even ads or in general. Just people know Lamborghini, they know Lamborghini.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like, for the podcast, you know, now you've developed the skills to pay the bills. And it's, you know, what do you want to do? What direction do you want to go in that really kind of give it that extra value? Mm-hmm. You know, you can tease out. I mean, I love to run my mouth. It's easy enough if anybody's seen the cast. But, you know, you can tease out questions, interesting topics, and things like that really make people want to go, oh. So there's a lot of value there. So you being able to talk to one person, a group of people, et cetera, like that. Now you've developed that skill. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to do? Like, and that Lego thing, shit, do a Lego thing once a week, because I'm looking at that Daily Bugle Lego box and I'm hungry.
That's another thing too. I've been watching people do speed builds, and well, actually not just for speed, but they actually just, you know, they'll record like them building it, but then like time lapse it. And like I was like, oh, that's kind of cool. So I'm thinking about maybe, you know, even just like kind of keeping this going too, but making a couple videos like they're just trying to make a couple like that and just, you know, put it on a new channel or something and just see what happens. Yeah. You know, just try it out.
Yeah, give it a shot.
Because I mean, it's something I do enjoy. Like when I get home, just put in like a podcast or music and just sit here and just, you know, I'll build like, you know, a few pieces and go about my day. You know, it's like, okay, accomplished, man. Did something good, man. Built like, you know, that's like the chest piece for Optimus Prime right there.
Oh, dude, look at this. Look at this freshness.
Yeah, people. So that was like the first bag of it.
And the windows open up. So it was funny because I was talking to you about this, that this is exactly, it's a larger scale, I guess, but it's exactly like what, well, shit, no. Mine folded forward and not sideways. But again, similar build to what I grew up with, and I had this tiny little Optimus Prime. Like this thing's, he says it with his chest. So this thing's probably going to be like yay tall.
At least, yeah.
And
probably pretty accurate from that box.
So it is a sizable build, and it transforms and stuff, and that's super cool. So you get to do that. You get the people that are fans of the 80s, fans of Transformers, fans of Legos. There's a lot of overlap in people who, you know, may be interested in watching that in a quick time lapse.
Well, yeah, that's another thing that people like who grew up with that stuff, you know, we all have full-time jobs now and everything, so we're all getting kind of back into it, that part of nostalgia effect and spending money on those things, and like now it's getting cool again to us.
Yeah, and you get to be able to experience things that you either want to have access to via money or time but don't, or something that you do have access to and you want to learn what people are doing. Like, you know, again, I bitch like a sick cat. about the whole podcasting thing with Elgato, but there were a lot of videos that got me, I want to say like 90% of the way there, because everybody has their own spin on it. Like they'll say, okay, here's how you do it step by step. And a lot of that was like very like, make sure you plug it in. I'm like, ah, damn it. I was like, no, this is not what I need. But some people do. And so you can make these videos and you attract an audience based on, you know, what you're doing and how you present it. Some people may be like, oh man, I really want to build this transformer piece, but how long does it take? And you do a video of it, and they're like, oh shit, I don't have 15 hours or maybe 3 to do it. Or you know, I don't know if you know this, Legos aren't cheap. So some people are like, you know, I want to use my discretionary income in another place, but I'd still like to watch this being built, and I can watch it for free. And that's really, you know, the power behind YouTube and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
And I think
I've been there, done it. Yeah, like, you know, the Titanic's $600, and I'll sit there and just, that was one of my first things. Like, I was like, let me watch somebody else build it, and I was like, oh, this is cool, man.
Yeah.
Even though I wasn't building it, but it was so cool to watch them do it. And I was like, man, that piece just looks sick, you know.
Some of my favorite things are watching people do construction. And half the time I'm like, fuck that, I don't want to be outside of the air conditioning. But the other part is like, okay, let's get some really cool ideas for any builds that I am going to have to do. Like I did, I took a lot of videos. I just haven't edited them yet, which is a other special hell I'm sure you're familiar with. But like I did the remodel in the grandmother-in-law's bathroom.
Okay.
And so I did some of the videos of it when I was building in a fake shelf in order to protect some of the plumbing, discuss the plumbing and stuff like that. And I wanted to name it like This Damn Trailer. It's a homage to this old house.
I gotcha.
But, you know,
pretty good.
Being able to edit and take that and post it, so to be able to explain to people like, hey, if you're going to remodel a trailer, which is like trailers are not inherently expensive, but they are something that need maintenance.
Sure.
And we got a couple quotes for how much it was going to cost to do that shit. And I realized right then and there that my happy ass was going to be a plumber. Because I was like, I don't know anything about this, but I can go on YouTube and figure it out.
I'll learn, man, for what it's costing, I bet.
Dude, it was almost 10 grand for a bathroom. Like, you know, this is in a trailer that's not worth 10 grand, right? Like, bro, you don't need to put Italian marble in this shit. Like, I just need, I need you to run some pecs for me, my guy.
Oh shoot, we're kind of circling back a little bit. You know, talking about editing videos and stuff. I let all of my Photoshop and Premiere Pro, I let it run out, and I was like, you know, when I released last
when you're
week's
doing
episode.
it, Premiere Pro is
it's money, man. I loved it.
Almost, you don't have to have it, but damn, you almost need to have it if you don't have the Apple suite of doing stuff.
Exactly. But anyway, like, I was like, man, do I want to buy all this over again? Yeah, you warm me up too, man. Man, warm me up, bro. And so I downloaded a free one. It's called DaVinci Resolve.
Okay.
And so I almost had to relearn everything all over again.
There's a lot of overlap and a lot of not.
Yeah, but it was kind of what you were saying though. Going back to your one point though, it's like you just said, like pretty much the same thing as Premiere Pro, but a few ways of doing it differently. But pretty much it's like, oh, it's just, you know, it looks different, but that's doing it the same thing. I just got to remember, like, oh, you're just training your brain to do it this way rather than the old way. But yeah, I mean, but pretty good for I mean, really good. I mean, for a free video editing software. You know?
And Apple has a lot of native stuff. I know Alex does a lot of his stuff natively on Apple, and then when he needs to post it elsewise, or if he needs to do something a little more heavy in the editing, he'll throw it into Premiere Pro. But you know, there's enough freeware that if you're going to do a podcast, and I think it's a good segue for people. Like, everybody should try to do a podcast once. And it's funny I say that, and you're like talking about oversaturation of the market.
Yeah.
But it builds certain skills that you may like not realize are beneficial. Like, it helps you when you're communicating with people. It helps you deal with pain in the ass electronics. It helps you troubleshoot and problem solve. Sometimes it allows people to just get stuff off their chest. It's good for them mentally to be able to say, like, sometimes I just get on and bitch. Like a small part of me was going to complain, like, we were all going to game last night. I actually stayed up late. I almost passed out on the couch. And I get on, like, nobody's there. And I realize it's because we're all, like, damn near 40.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them are over 40.
Yeah.
And it's difficult to get everybody on, but
super hard.
You know, being able to talk about these sorts of things, being able to communicate about a wide variety. Like people can go out and talk, say what they want, and it may resonate with people. Like I saw one of those like little heartwarming snaps, and it was a veteran. He was a disabled vet, and he did a cast, and he was consistently on stream, or not Steam, but consistently on Twitch streaming. And one of the things he was doing was not getting any viewers, not getting followers. He was just, like he was gaming, he was there, and somebody joined, and they were going through like a bad time. And so they were typing, he was talking, and, apparently it really resonated with that person. He was able to talk through with them, and he was excited because he had a viewer, and they were, able to communicate. Like, again, it was like, not to go into the details, like, a really negative spot in their life, and they're able to, be someone to reach out to and talk to. So I think it's a really cool experience to say, hey, I'm here, I'm online, I'm available, because you may not always be available in person.
True.
And it's and you can be doing something you love.
Yeah. Yeah, do something you love, and then hopefully get that human connection. Maybe is that the right? Is that what he was looking for? Is that what you were thinking, just to connect with somebody?
Yeah, well, I think that when you stream, you're producing a relative connection. I don't want to say it's like always an intimate connection. Like podcasts are a little more intimate because you're directly back and forth. There's a lot of back and forth, and when you're streaming, you may not always be able to directly communicate because you're more like demonstrating what you're doing versus it's like a sports athlete. You're playing your game, and you may see a fan waving a banner, and you may shout out, but you're not interacting with them directly as opposed to having a conversation.
Right.
But there's still, if anybody tells you there's not value in entertainment, see about how many people are bitching about sports contracts and how much pro athletes are making.
Oh, bro, that's everywhere.
Yeah, so.
Oh, wait, and talking about that, I've been watching, it's kind of related, Rob McElhenney and Ryan Reynolds. They bought the Wrexham Dragons football club in Wales. And
Wrexham damn near killed him.
But anyway, I've been watching that Hulu docu-series, I guess, and it's kind of getting me. Josh, shout out Josh Lott, got me into it because he's a big soccer guy now, apparently. And
got them feats.
Yeah, so now I am watching it. And am I big into soccer? No, but I like them too as actors, especially they're some of my favorite stuff. And then plus, but yeah, it's kind of interesting to see. And like they're talking about how, do you know how it works? And like,
no.
Okay, so real quick rundown. So you have like a Premier League, in which like this is like the best of all football clubs, right? And you have to finish. Hope I get some of this right. So people don't yell.
It's like World Cup soccer, like your
basically
top tier. All right.
Basically, yeah. But then like if you don't, win whatever standings or whatever it is, like you get kicked out of the Premier League and you drop a level. Okay, then you drop another level if you don't do well in that area. And so
continue to be dog shit.
Basically, yeah. Then like here's like shit. Then like 20 feet of more shit. Then here's like Wrexham Football Club. And they just like whoever the past owners were just let them go downhill and weren't keeping up stuff.
Right, Disney bought the Mighty Ducks at an all-time low. We got this.
But anyway, so it was just kind of like talking about how like all these top premier players are getting paid and how much their football clubs actually make. And then there's like, what Rob McElhenney and Ron Reynolds are talking about, like say, they spent over $100,000 just to pitch the actual field, like making it like not make sure players get injured, like it make a decent pitch.
It's funny. It's like $100,000 for a field sounds like a lot, but when you have each player making potentially millions of dollars, breaking an ankle is a big deal. It's like it's, at that point, $100K is preventative maintenance at least.
That's their livelihood, or that's their life. If they break an ankle or even a knee or whatever, they know like, oh shit, how am I going to come back from this? Even I've been and also watching Winning Time on HBO Max. It's about Magic Johnson and his kind of basketball
proof
career.
That through with enough money and positivity, you can beat any disease.
Basically, it's starting to hit around at that too, because there's this one like scene where he was like talking to the coach, or I can't remember who he was talking to, but he's just, I like to fuck, and that's just how he put it. He said, I like to play ball and fuck.
That's it.
And I was like, well, yeah, you ain't gonna lie. But anyway, they're talking about all the contracts they were getting and talking about how much it costs, like the Lakers back in the 80s, how much it was. Like how much
the 80s, wasn't it?
Yeah, how much it was to pay each player to keep a team like the Lakers running and try to make them like the best of the LA Lakers that everybody wanted to go see and all that good stuff.
Kobe's Lakers.
There you go. Like that era.
Yeah.
And like John C. Reilly's in. He's really good as it too. But anyway, I forgot where I was going with that point. But anyway, that's just part of like
John
the
C.
contracts.
Reilly is probably the least undervalued. He's underutilized, and he is one of the best serious actors when he gets those opportunities. But like, he's mostly known for his funny stuff. Like, everybody knows him as the brother in Step Brothers.
Yes.
From Will Ferrell. But you know, how many people remember that he's the asshole cop in Gangs of New York? Yeah, the corrupt cop in Gangs of New York. Yeah, an immaculate job.
Right.
And so, like, he also played a convincing half-hearted as, I think, the Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant, was a movie that came out, like, it bombed awful, but it had a lot of up-and-coming stars. But he plays the vampire's assistant, and he plays very serious in that.
And what was the movie called? It's called The Vampire's Assistant.
Oh, yeah.
I was like, I've never heard of
this.
Dude,
nobody's heard of it. And then his career took a hit when they did Watson and Holmes, or
was that with Will Ferrell?
Yeah,
I never saw
it.
Took
him like 10 years to make it, and then
I heard it was trash. Yeah. And I was like, I don't want to watch it because I was scared. I was scared, because I really love Will Ferrell too. And
Will Ferrell was great in what's that movie where he's dying and the narrator is telling about it, or he. Stranger Than Fiction.
There you go. I kept saying strange. That's all I could come up with.
Stranger Than Fiction. Like, he's great in that. So, I mean, anyway, so we went off on actors and what they can do and can't do. And Ryan Reynolds, I've never seen him be not funny.
Well, he's got a certain persona that it seems to fit on only. He doesn't play the same. Like, all right, so for example, Matthew McConaughey was talking about in his book where he was like the romantic rom-com guy. Green Lights?
Yeah, I liked it.
Bro, loved it. I was like, oh man, my gosh, like a whole new love for Matthew McConaughey. Like, I liked him as an actor, but then when actually reading Green Lights and what he talked about, like almost just like getting real in depth with him into a sense, like getting to know him, just not just actor Matthew McConaughey, but like, this dude's got shit to say, man. And he's not been through some. He's I don't want to say he had a hard life or anything, but just
it's interesting moments.
Yeah, his thoughts on life and how he views things, and his things with his mom and dad, and why
I can't read Lord Byron the same way as for damn sure.
But anyway, it was like, wow, Matthew McConaughey, he's not just a all right driving a Lincoln dude. This dude's he's got shit to say, and it's legit shit.
Funny enough that the Lincoln happened right after the season 1 of what was that cop show? The immaculate one on HBO.
The Wire?
No, the one he was in.
Oh, True Detective.
Yeah.
That season, that was the first season, I think.
That was the first season, because the second season's different actors entirely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Was that with Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell and somebody else.
Black guy. Muhammad?
Maybe.
What was he? I can't think of what else.
It was just really bad.
I could see his face, but it didn't hit home at all.
No.
Didn't they do a third season too?
It was so bad after season 2. I don't know.
For some reason, I thought there was a third season.
There might be.
And I thought it got a little better.
HBO does a really good job of making shit decisions. Like, it's sort of like the same C-level suite from Fox and them share each other, because it's like, hey, you want to make good content? No. You want to make bullshit that'll probably drive the company under so it can be bought by Disney? Yes.
That's one thing Matt and I were talking about this weekend, because we watched M. Night's one of his new movies, Cabin at the Woods. Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, Cabin in the Woods is a great movie. I was like, he didn't touch
Knock
that.
at the Cabin. Knock at
the. I'm still mad at him over Avatar. Let's.
Okay. Well, anyway, but what was my point? Oh yeah, so we got on HBO Max, and Gotham Knights was on there, and we were like, what the hell is Gotham Knights? And it was a video game, which it got dog shit reviews, and I bought it anyway. It was like $30 one day, and I played because I'm a Batman fanboy, so why not? Anyway, but we looked it up, and it was like one of those CW shows, and it was like, why is HBO Max? Did they buy this? Like, why? But the reviews were terrible for it. I was like, I'm not even chancing that, dude. And I guess that's how we got onto the M. Night's new movie.
DC makes amazing animation. Like, their animated movies, I think like Batman Ninja, you'd think would be shit. It's actually really good, and it's a lot of the artwork that they change throughout as they're doing it is just great. And the story's solid. Somehow they actually make Gorilla Grodd relevant, which is funny. But Yeah, he's that super smart monkey.
Okay, this sounds familiar. I was trying to think.
Yeah, but I mean, again, that's a great one. Really good. And then you get everything else that's live action that DC's made outside of Aquaman.
Yeah.
And
Did you see the new Flash?
Cavill's, the Cavill Supermans, which even those, how you can make Kevin Costner seem like a piece of shit, I'll never know. But good job, guys.
Yeah,
you did
man.
it. It's like, I mean, you want to talk about fuck them kids when it's like the first movie? It's like I saved everybody on the bus. He's like, maybe you shouldn't have. You ever consider that, like letting them all drown? It's like, what the hell? And it's like, hey, I see there's a tornado coming. And he's like, hang tough. It's like, why? Why? It's like nobody's gonna like bat an eye at like, oh, son got scared, moved a little faster than normal. Nobody's gonna say anything to that. But no, he's like, I'm out.
I like it.
And then like Henry, you talking about somebody got shat up on between the Superman series and The Witcher. I just finished that up. Like they gave
The newest season.
Yeah.
I haven't started yet. I'm really worried.
It finishes.
Okay, go. But continue.
I mean, they'll have more Witcher, but I have little to no interest in watching it.
Thor's brother's taking over, right?
Yeah, which I feel bad because every time they throw him at something, it seems to be like a doomed from the start endeavor. I think
set him up for failure.
I think the last thing I saw him in was Expendables 3, and he gets killed 10 minutes in or some shit. It's like they have him carrying a Barrett 50 cal, running, sprinting up a mountain, looking like a badass, and he just dies. And it's like, wow.
Expendables 3. That's one thing I haven't watched in a long. I have watched it because I like the first one. The second one I don't remember.
I mean, it's the same core story. Old mercenaries doing it, and well,
kind of going back to DC though. Matt and I, shout out Matt Dalton again. I'm at Charlotte this weekend.
Right.
Everybody's wondered.
For
Queen City,
for a
baby.
certain event, right?
For a Lego convention.
Nerd.
Yeah, dork. But overall thoughts on that was not. So, all right, there was one in DC, and it was called, like, I forgot, there was a different name, but it was actually legit. Like, people went there, and they brought their mocks, which, their own creations, and, like, it was, like, crazy stuff they built, just not following Lego diagrams.
I've seen Lego Star Destroyers, not Death Star, Star Destroyers that are from where the camera is now to the window in size.
Yes.
And, I mean, these things weigh hundreds of pounds, not like 100 pounds, hundreds. And what is it, like 30, 40,000 pieces or something ridiculous?
Oh, ridiculous.
And they're not Lego. They're made from Legos, but people have taken Legos, ordered them in bulk, and built it out.
That's exactly what these guys were doing, and that's what I thought we were kind of going to. And like one guy actually, he created his own Jurassic Park. Dude, like how had dinosaurs, like the actual like facility, the gates going into it, like the actual airport, and like here's the where the breeding center, here's a raptor pen, and it was like instant orgasmic, baby. But anyway, so this was what we went to. It was good, but it wasn't good at the same time. I told you a little bit about it before we got on air.
Lackluster.
Yeah, like if you had a couple, it was more kid oriented, which is fine, and I get that's probably what Legos are for. But it was more of just like they would have a couple tables set like this for kids just go build shit and go put it over here. Like, hey, look what I built.
And like
one of the Lego Master guys was there.
Okay.
I felt bad for him. Like it was one of like
why do you feel bad for him?
Because it's one of those things like he's a Lego Master on the Lego Master show, and you had to get in line to go get autographs or a picture made,
right.
And we got there was like one person leaving, and then he was just sitting there. And it's like,
them's the breaks, man.
I was like, poor guy, man. Like,
did you go up and get an autograph?
No, I was like, I didn't know who he was. It just said like Lego Master Manny, or I can't remember his name. And
Manny Pacquiao.
No, if it would, I would have ran over there real quick. It was him. But I don't know if he won Lego Masters. He was just on a show, and like we saw him. I was like, we were literally like from here to where the camera is, and I was like, I say, man, I'm good. Like unless Matt's kid, like Wyatt, do you want to go? And like Wyatt didn't know who he was. And
yeah,
I was like, I'm good, man. Let's keep walking. But anyway, I was like, man,
and a lot of times those autographs are like $25-$30.
That's what I was wondering if you would have to pay for one.
Well, I don't know, and it depends. Some people will do the circuit just to get their name out, and some people will charge. Like I remember going to Comic-Con, and I've been to a few, and it's funny when you're at the Comic-Cons that and it's similar. Any kind of you're at an event where people are enthusiastic about something like a Ren Fair, Lego Comic-Con, whatever, you get to run into people, and sometimes like people will be enjoying it. My favorite, and again, because I'm a huge Cavill fan, when he went and had the Guy Fawkes mask and he just walked around, he actually waited in line, went up to Will Smith and was like, "Hey, can I get your photo?" And then it's like he goes up and he flips the mask up at the last second. It's like, and so Will Smith didn't see him, and then Will Smith looks over, like, "Oh," and he's like, "Hey." So, and then like what was it? One of the Comic-Cons, there was a Spider-Man running around, and it was some little known actor named Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh yeah, just a little known actor.
Yeah, and it was like after the last Harry Potter.
Where's your lightning bolt, bro?
Yeah, but so you get to any of these events and you get these people there and they're having a good time. That's it's a lot of fun, and you get to meet people that you wouldn't normally meet. But you also have to be careful if you're interacting with people outside of it. Like I went one year and I got to see Lou Ferrigno, and I grew up, I was a huge Hulk fan. Dude's fucking massive.
I don't doubt it.
Like as a point of reference for the people who are watching now, all three of them. Thank you guys, appreciate you. Mostly my followers. It's like my mom and probably 2 other accounts she made. But like I'm 6'5". I'm 300 pounds on a not so fat day. But like I'm a big dude. Sure. And when I met Lou Ferrigno, I had 18-inch biceps, and I was about the size I am now, a little thinner, like a little thinner in the gut, and he was a couple inches shorter than me. I won't say he's like 6'2", 6'3". Dude's arms were the size of my thighs, and I'm like, and like dude just reaches his hand down, and I shake his hand like, "Hi." Like even though I'm looking at this dude, it's like, "Hi." Just massive, and he's in his 60s, so it was cool seeing that. And then I also went with a buddy of mine, Eddie. You met him, the big damn ginger.
Yes.
Yeah. So
played frisbee golf with him.
Yeah. So I was there, and he was big damn ginger. So we were there, and he wanted to see a comic book artist that he really enjoyed, and so we're waiting to go see this guy, and we're looking through like the old anime. DVDs, a lot of them are bootleg, but it's like some stuff you just can't find unless you know what you're looking for. Sure. So I was flipping through this, and I couldn't find something. I asked this guy, I was like, "Hey, can you help me find this?" He's like, "Oh man, I don't work here." Kind of a dick. And he acted like he was working there. I was like, "What the fuck?" Yeah. I was like, "Okay, fine, man." And then my buddy comes over, white as a sheet. He's like, "You know who that was?" I was like, "Hell no, I don't know who that was." He's like, "That's the guy I'm here to see. That's James O'Barr." I was like, "Okay."
Oh, fuck him.
He's a dick. Yeah. I was like, "Fuck that dude." I was like, "You stand in line for him. I'm going to be over here trying to find the shit he couldn't help me with. Fuck that guy." But he ended up, obviously, he was taking a few minutes out of his day to just check out the event he was at.
Yeah.
So
fuck James.
Yeah. Totally my fault, but still fuck him. And that's, I guess, counter culture, cancel culture in a nutshell. Is like, I fucked up, but fuck you because I don't like you.
Yeah. We'll go on back, though, a little bit, though. Even talking about DC and all that with James Gunn taking it over now.
We'll see how it goes.
Because we were talking about Blue Beetle, too. Like, should we go see Blue Beetle? Should we go see Oppenheimer or whatever it's called?
So...
But Oppenheimer got, I don't think, or not Oppenheimer. Blue Beetle didn't come, well, from the reviews I saw, it came out with kind of
So the problem is I really like the kid, and I only know him as Miguel from Cobra
Kai. Yeah.
And so I really liked him and his entire arc in Cobra Kai, and I liked him as an actor and what he's doing there. I never really gave a shit about DC's Blue Iron Man, but at the same, like, Blue Iron Man mixed with fucking Beetleborgs. I guess he is a Beetleborg, isn't he? No shit. Maybe that's where they got it from. I don't know. Like, the character never really made me go, wow.
Well, I never even heard of it before, but
I only heard about it because he's big in the Flash kind of section of that universe, and Jaden was really big into like Blue Beetle. Like, oh, he's got so many cool powers. I'm like, I don't know who the fuck he is.
Did you see the new Flash?
No.
Matt and I went and saw it.
Ezra Miller, and
dude's weird, right?
So,
or he wasn't weird when I first saw him in Justice League. I liked him, but in this Flash, and I don't know if it's because after his allegations, allegedly, or whatever he did, I don't know. But he was just a way different actor.
I just didn't like the way he portrayed Flash after the first meeting. Like the first meeting was kind of fun, and you're like, okay, he's here. He's kind of a little peculiar because Barry Allen's always been a bit strange, but also like in the comics, he's also like much bigger, more athletic looking, and it's not like he had his chops not just leaning on the Speed Force, but they were trying to like kind of make sure that his power was directly based on the whole the cinematography that they used in X-Men with Quicksilver. You know, where like everything he sees is super slow, which it's in the Flash's wheelhouse. But Quicksilver, both iterations, like the first one when it was one of the twins, he was big built guy, and then you have the other one, which I think is a better actor, but he's a much smaller frame fella. Like I was like, okay, fine. Like we get a small build Ezra Miller. He doesn't have to be big. He's fast, cool. But I just thought that it felt wimpy as a Flash. Like
and
Flash
the newest
was never
one
wimpy.
felt way wimpy. Is a good way to put it. Yeah, because I was like, I just don't see it, man, and I don't. Yeah, like I said, I don't know if it's because of whatever he did. I wish I had my phone's there, but whatever. But I was like, this guy's just different, man. Like this is.
I just didn't care for his portrayal of the Flash. Like he could do something else and maybe be good at it. His Flash, I didn't care for. Like Jason Momoa's Aquaman was stellar. Henry Cavill's Superman, immaculate. Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman. I could watch that entire movie on mute. Like,
Did you watch Black Adam?
So I haven't, and I don't think that I care for The Rock until he changes his contracts. So, two things. First of all, there's the Fast and the Furious curse. I have made this up. This is entirely me.
John Dub theory coming at us.
This is no John Dub fact. Watch this shit.
Come here, buddy.
He had a falling out with Vin Diesel, and he's like, "I'm not going to be on Fast and
I
Furious."
heard a little bit about that.
When he was a part of the franchise, his movies made bank. When he announced he was not going to be a part of the franchise, he got into much higher profile movies, and they all bombed. I think he has to return to the fold, which I heard he's going to. But if you're out of the Fast and the Furious, you just can't make money because it's all about family in this business. So there it is.
I did catch that one. Family.
But no, like, so one of his contracts, and it makes it, I like The Rock and what he does in action films, but when I found out about the stipulation in his contract, it makes it moot. His contract says that whenever he's in a movie, he can't lose. He can either win or draw, and that's it. And now I think that's a part of him protecting his brand.
I've heard this.
Yeah, and he's protecting his brand. He doesn't want to be like the big guy that gets beat up. I get that. But that means that you know what's going to happen. So if I see him on screen,
Yeah.
I'm not like Black Adam. I want to see Black Adam get the dog shit whipped out of him a few times and then become a fully realized powerhouse that eventually does go dark. Like he is a bad guy. And I'm okay with that. But just to know that he can either win or break even, it's like, okay, so Black Adam, he wins at the end. Or there's a sequel. Like it takes all the fun out of what any kind of writing direction could go.
Right.
So like I still enjoy the films he's in, but I'm not gonna line up for them because it's like,
Yeah.
maybe
Talking about a little underrated movies or even actors, and I know I don't know if I would say he's underrated. Hey, Duke, stop. If he's not underrated, but remember The Rundown? That movie he was in with Christopher Walken?
Yeah, shit.
That was way early Rock starting acting
that was
days.
solid.
I liked it a lot, and it had Stifler in it too.
Yeah, and God,
For some reason, I still like. If I find it on, I watch it, man.
I mean, you haven't seen something like that really until you got into was it Red Notice with Ryan Reynolds?
Oh yeah.
Because like you have to get the smaller, funnier kind of.
Who else was in that? Who was
Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot. Hey, you're right.
Yeah.
Good call, bro.
And,
oh yeah, I know. Okay, now I remember when I watched that movie at. It was, because it was like a Netflix exclusive, right? Okay, I watched it with that one girl one night. Anyway.
Yeah, there was a time.
Well, actually, my last relationship. Anyway,
Yeah.
I haven't thought about that.
Nah.
I actually did want to ask. Oh, side note on stuff to talk about though. I was going to talk to you about the ghost thing.
Getting ghosted?
Yeah, but we don't talk about it now.
Or like actual ghosts, because we're at the beginning cusp of the spooky season.
Yeah, actual being just ghosted dating was.
It's weird. Like, it's so much easier
I told
now.
you about it, but it was just fuck.
I mean, like, I think it's difficult regardless.
It fucked me up a little bit, man. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it just really. I didn't mean to cut you off there. I'm sorry.
No,
too.
Go ahead.
Like for the next week, like my brain, like I could not get it out of my head, and I was just like really down on myself and down on life, and just I was angry towards people too, and it wasn't their fault. You want down? It wasn't their fault, but I was finally just clicked with me, just be like, oh, I knew it was me, and just being upset because like. Like I don't really have I personally don't think I have a huge ego or put myself on this, like I'm the God's gift to earth or whatever. But like also it's just kind of like, well, like what we were talking about earlier a little bit, like, I feel like I got a decent head on my shoulders. I work out, I'm not addicted to, fentanyl and out there, I feel like I do pretty well in life,
You're doing the things that would garner, like, you're a high value guy looking for a high value girl.
Exactly, because I feel like with me looking for a girl, like that's things I would respect, and I feel like I give off that vibe too. Like
right.
Hey, I don't mind having a few drinks. I like to stay in shape. I like to keep active. I like to learn. I like to just I like to be social and to a certain extent, but I also like my alone time also.
Right.
And
well-balanced individual.
I try to think that, like, and I feel like I have a lot to offer, but then I told you the highlights of this day, but we just went out and got a couple beers and went and got some food, and I thought everything was great. And then all of a sudden, nothing, ghost. Exactly. I sent a text the next day, and it was easy text, man. It wasn't nothing like, oh man. Here's a dick pic, it was like
here's that Jansen.
I think I literally just said like, hey, enjoy, because it was like
why'd it come through in two? Because it's not big enough for, like, it's too big for one pic.
No, but it was like a Tuesday or Wednesday, and I sent one. It was just like, hey, enjoyed last night. Hey, I don't know what you're doing this weekend, but if you're free, we'd love to hang out again.
Follow up, simple follow up text.
Like, hey, that's just easy. Like, leave it open. And then, like I said, ghost, nothing. And I was like, bro. And then
the fuck, like,
also. I don't know if I told you this part, but we add each other. Okay, so we met on dating apps, right?
Sure.
Okay, whatever.
That's how people meet.
Met on Bumble, and
Rumble in the Bumble.
Rumble in the Bumble, baby. But anyway, met even I said, hey, let's add each other on Facebook and blah blah blah. And because she was even suggested, like, hey, let's talk through there. And I was like, you know what? Here's my number. I mean, especially now, like, hey, if this girl's weird, I'll just block
Facebook,
it. Yeah,
Facebook has my number.
Yeah, whatever. So anyway, add each other on Facebook. Then, like, I weirdly wish I wouldn't have checked this, but I checked, and like, she deleted me off Facebook. We're not friends anymore. And I was like,
okay, there it is.
And I was like, what did I fucking do? Like, what is wrong with me? So anyway,
I'll say this: like, the whole delete block on Facebook means a lot more to our generation than it used to, or even for like the generations behind us. Like, a lot of the people like 10 years behind us don't even give a fuck about Facebook. They're like, what? They're like, that's for old people. I'm like, fuck you, kid. Fucking kids. But, like, it's interesting, though, that while I guess that's her way of saying, hey, I'm out, there's a lot of audacity just to not say, hey, wasn't working, take care, and just walk.
Just give me that. That's all I wanted. Was like, hey, thanks, but no thanks. Like, hey, I'm just not feeling it. Hey,
or like, hey, I was just looking to fuck and be out, but
tell me something.
Looks like you're looking for more. Like, give you some feedback. And chemically, and a buddy of mine who honestly I've not talked to in quite some time, and I don't know why, but she was telling me that there was studies shown that being ignored is chemically the same thing in your brain as being physically assaulted. Like, the same chemicals are released in your brain, takes it the same way. So it's this is why like communities such as the Amish and certain like people in the Jewish community, when they get shunned or ostracized, it makes such an impact, and why people are also so afraid of it, because like there's no, you're excommunicado, you're out.
John Wick, baby.
Yep. That was a solid 4. Like that. Every installment of that movie was great, and there's a lot of people who are hating on the last couple because they're like, oh, there's too much violence. I'm like, did you not see the first movie? Like this.
Did you know what you were getting into here?
Yeah.
Like,
like,
what'd you expect, bro?
Yeah, like this wasn't John. John finds his path to peace. It's like John burns the whole mother down.
Yeah, well, I mean,
But having that lack of reciprocity and respect, and then it kind of puts you in a weird spot as a man, because part of you wants to reach out because we're by nature problem solvers, and we want to be like, okay, well, what did I do wrong? What could I change? Because immediately the introspection comes in, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, well, how did I fuck up? And maybe you didn't, but you don't know because you're basically looking into the void and you're just trying to figure it out. There's no pushback. There's no like, oh yeah, you came on strong, or oh, you came on weak, or oh, like, you know what, I just really didn't like the shirt you were wearing, or like, I thought that you're, like, anything to give you some sort of information, or be like, you know what,
a list of closure. That's all I wanted.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
I was horny and hungry and just wanted somebody to pay for my food. Like,
or yeah, maybe
what the hell?
If that's what you wanted, then cool. But just, I don't know, man. Like, I just don't know how to navigate the dating world, and I thought I did, because usually I think, like, if I go on a date, like, it's gonna go well, even if it doesn't go well. I mean, even like, okay, we have a good conversation, and even if you don't date the person afterwards, hey, I met a friend, maybe, hey, they might be cool to hang out with, or whatever. But just then, like, nothing at all. Like, okay, I couldn't get, like, what you were just saying, like, no feedback, no anything. Was that bad of a person? Did I bring up something I should have never have? I mean, right. But what happened?
It's all the racist jokes, I think.
Yeah, because that's exactly who I was.
Ones where you talk poorly about women of color.
Oh my gosh! But dude, it was just like, it was one of the things too that.
And just for clarity, by the way, he doesn't say that shit.
Yes, yeah. But like, I thought, based on our conversation and stuff, like, okay, yeah, she seems pretty respectful. Has a good head on her shoulders. That's, maybe it's just. Like, each first date's like an interview, right? So I guess you only give them what you want them to see. All right, let me tell you something I've been using here lately. Been using Magic Mind, and I think I know it's become a game changer for me. So basically, I felt like I was struggling with focus, struggling with energy, and just trying to get that perfect balance all throughout my day. So, lately I've been thinking like, oh man, I got this mental fog, and it's been holding me back, and I just couldn't get quite right. So, I would resort to crushing a Red Bull or a Monster energy drink just to see if I could get back to where I was like 100% focused and felt like I could still do my work day, go do my workouts, and just keep crushing life. But I'm a coffee guy. We all know that. And I thought coffee just wasn't providing the sustained energy I needed anymore. I wanted to be 100% focused, and I think it's rare, especially in today's age, to find that 100% focused energy. So that's where Magic Mind came in. I've been drinking it for about a week now. I love it. It's easy. I can take it anywhere. It's small bottles of this little shot. And I usually take it right with my coffee in the morning. Right along with my first cup for the day. It sets me up, gets me going. I already have a win for the day. Made it part of my routine so far this past week. And it's super, super easy to do. It's not hard. But I've just noticed this a couple of days when incorporating Magic Mind into my routine. I noticed some benefits. I have the mental energy. I have the focus I need to tackle off my task. And I also feel like it's improved my overall mood. And even reduced a little anxiety. And I've never been an anxiety guy, but I feel like what little anxiety I have, it's gone. It's relieved. So, it's just a natural stress reliever, and it supports brain functions, which I love. And I know what you're thinking. Some of you are like, oh, it's this big caffeine shot. Well, it's not. It's not heavy on caffeine at all. I think it's 55 milligrams, and it did not disrupt my sleep at all. Also, for all you people who are on certain diets and, oh, is it going to work for me or whatever, it's sugar-free. It's nut-free. It's vegan, keto, and paleo-friendly. It's got matcha. It's like an extended-release caffeine. It's got ashwagandha, an ancient adaptogen that reduces stress and anxiety. I mean, it's just awesome. It's got herbal breakthroughs that enhance mental clarity and endurance. It's got lion's mane, cordyceps, mushrooms, these nootropics, and the adaptogens that reduce inflammation, support cognition, and boost physical endurance. It's a powerhouse. That's all I got to say. It's just a powerhouse to keep you at your best. Now, you might be wondering, well, how do I get it? What do I do? Well, I got some exciting news for you. I've secured an exclusive discount for all you listeners out there. Just head over to magicmind.com/Shelor20, and you can get up to 56% off your subscription for the next 10 days using my code Shelor20. Whether you're already a subscriber or looking to try it out, this deal is too good to pass up. It's worth trying out, people, if you're having trouble focusing like I was. I would recommend this to friends, to family members. People like my dude Joe Rogan's taking it, Theo Von's taking it, and also they just keep talking about it. Magic Mind stands by its 100% money back guarantee. If you don't love it, they'll refund your purchase within 3 to 4 hours. That's how confident they are in their product. So, if you're struggling to find that focus, energy, and place like I was, truly encourage you to give Magic Mind a shot. It's not just about staying awake, it's about thriving and performing at your best. Again, visit magicmind.com/Shelor20. Use the code Shelor20 to get up 56% off or 20% off a one-time purchase. All right.
And it's funny you say that because you think about interviews. And people, like when you go for a job interview, the recruiters are all about it. They want to talk to you every fucking 30 minutes. How are you doing?
Yeah.
Where's your resume? When can you talk? And like they're really, and it's sort of dating's the same way. Hey. Like if first then it's like, oh, hey, how you doing? Yeah. When can we talk? I'd love to meet you. Let's discuss more. But then just like recruiters, and I think that sometimes that happens in the dating world, is that once the decision's been made that we're not moving forward, the communication just drops. And it's like, well, you're all about it like a day ago. What happened?
Yeah.
And just like, with recruiters, you want that feedback. Like, oh, hey, did I not demonstrate this quality that, you might have been looking for? Maybe I'm great in it. Maybe I'm not, but I don't know. And it's, really trying to find out and navigate in professional and personal. There's a lot of similarities. And I think that people take it for granted that, if you're going to have that human connection, that there's some follow-up, and some common fucking courtesy.
Yeah.
And not a lot of people have it. A lot of people would just rather be like, oh, it's just easier for me to hit delete.
That's exactly what it is, man. It's just so easy too. I mean, kind of what you were saying. Again, going back earlier in the podcast, talk about like versus Zoom podcast versus in-person podcast. Where there's no direct human connection, you can easily just never met this person. Like, fuck them. Hey, got something going on. I can't do the podcast tonight or whatever. Got to cancel it because it's just on Zoom. Nobody cares. And almost the same way with social media and anything. Like you're really not. You're connected, but you're not connected. This person, so it's easily just to dismiss. All right, person like done. I don't have to worry about it. I'll just leave them on Facebook. Never see them again. We're gone or whatever. And it's just so easy to do that. I mean, this digital age, like. You think that we're supposed to be so connected because of social media, but also it's like, wow, we're really not.
We're able to connect faster, but not necessarily more meaningfully. Like it's a weird balance because you can.
Meaningfully, good word. Yeah, exactly, meaningfully.
It's
not very meaningful.
It can be, but then it's so often like because there's so much ease of use to getting that connection. Because again, the quickness, the speed of being able to be like, oh, let me check you out on social media, and whatever you want to portray is laid bare on social media, and you can quickly find out like what is this person interest, what are they talking about, what are they looking at, but to really have that connection and find out who this person is, what they think about, if you're not willing to actually have the discussion, you're not going to know.
That's the thing, man. Like, how do you really get to know somebody? In which, on social media, you'll give people what you want them to see, which it's a highlight reel. I give it that. But also that, when you and I sit down and have conversations like this, or even private conversations, like, how do you really know somebody? And you get to know them just by conversating. It's not a theory, but, like, and also going back, how with talking about how, getting ghosted fucked with my head a little bit. Like, I noticed there for a while I was getting too much on social media. Just like instantly just scrolling through Instagram reels.
Doom scrolling.
Yeah, exactly. And just going through it, man. And I was like, an hour would pass. I was like, what the fuck did I just do?
Dude,
And I was like, I thought I was watching a movie, and I got on my phone for 2 seconds, and all of a sudden, boom.
Movie's over.
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, movie's over. Like, or even like
Netflix. Are you still watching?
Yeah, what happened? Like, yeah. You still watching? No, your girl's still here, bro, or whatever. But anyways, it's like, what the fuck did I just do? I was like, I gotta stop, man.
Doom scrolling. The missus kept me honest on that shit. She's like, quit messing with your phone. And she's like, quit messing with bullshit on your phone. I was like, yeah.
Dude, it's so easy to do, man.
Yeah. It's part of the design.
I get it. Yeah, I mean, I get it for people who design it and stuff. Yeah, they're doing well. But I get it. But it's like, even for me, it's just like, wow. Like, and I thought for a while, like, I'm good. Like, I was getting, I get the dopamine rush out of it. Like, oh, that was a funny video.
Distractorbation.
Yeah, send this to them. Yeah. Then all of a sudden, it just hit me like, what the fuck did I just do? So I've gotten to a point where it's just like, I got to stay off this, man. Like, if I get on Instagram, do not get on the Reels part. Just stay on the stories. Let me see if anybody posts anything cool. Let me get back. If there's something there that can benefit me in my life or whatever, or to check out, like,
right.
hey, person B went to whatever, Jamaica. Like, oh, cool. Like, good. That was cool. Good for them. Have fun, man. Like, do that. Like, now it's like this, and there is some good parts because I do like some of the stuff. Like, you send me stuff, I crack up at. Like,
yeah.
Just like, that's funny. That's good. But sometimes it's like, again, like I said, like, oh, wow, how long have I been on here? When you're taking a shit and stuff, that's a little bit different, though.
Yeah, that's the shit scrolling's real, and you got to keep blood
scrolling,
going through your legs. You're like sitting there, you're like almost like you're riding a bike.
Right, exactly.
But yeah, I mean, fucker, you'll be all right.
I think so, man. Like, I got over it, man. Like I said, it fucked me up for a little over a week, but I kind of talking about it right now, and even when I told you in a phone call one time. Like, that helped. Like,
I mean, her husband might have found the account. Like, you never know.
I got it out of my system. I was like, you know what, man? You're okay.
Yeah.
Hey, a bad date or a bad interaction, whatever it was, you're okay, dude. You still have good friends. You're still living. You're still doing your thing.
Go to work, learning.
There'll be more. Yeah, there'll be more dates. And got a certification, IT baby. High five.
Oh.
Anyway, but that's neither here nor there. But anyway, that made me proud of myself.
I should probably get another cert. Like, I'm still riding and coasting on the last one I haven't used for AWS. I just get to complain to my coworkers. I'm like, I know how this should be working. Would you like me to tell you? And they're like, no. I was like, well, I'm going to tell you anyways.
Well,
like, here's what you've done, and here's why it's wrong.
Papa seat, bro.
Yeah. Like, I didn't ask you. I was like, oh, I know. Yeah. I know. That's why I'm here.
But yeah, so again, like, things like that, just like, dude, you're okay.
Yeah.
Like, all right, the dating thing can be. Maybe I'm the guy who puts it on a pedestal, like, because I'm always the guy like, why are you single? Like, why do you not have kids yet? I don't know, man. Like, I don't know. Like, it just didn't work out.
Because you didn't go and make a lot of very sometimes bad decisions either.
There you go.
And there's a lot of people, and not hating on those individuals that have, but some people get married, have kids, get a divorce, and there they are. And they're like, well, why did I do that? It's like, because you made a different set of choices. Yeah. So it's like, why are you currently single without kids? Because you made a different set of choices. Yeah. And it's all it is, man. It's a choose your own adventure book. We got to figure it out because we can't just flip through and see what the end is.
Yeah. I think it's more the people who, like one of us said, like, they kind of make me feel bad for choosing those choices. It's like, well,
yeah, fuck them.
Well, I'm not judging you for, exactly. But I'm not, I didn't judge you for what you did. I don't care. Like, that's where your life led. That's fine. Yeah. But it's like,
so would you like me to start judging you?
Yeah, it's kind of like I'm the asshole for, doing what I'm doing. Like, I don't think I am, but
it's like I'm the dick for wearing a condom. That's where is that your bottom line?
Things could be worse, bro.
But you know what I had to go through to get those XL Magnums? Like, come on,
bro. Yeah, bro. Every day's a workout when you have to walk around with this in your pants.
That's right. Every day's leg day.
Yeah. But John, let's
wrap it up and take it home.
Yeah, let's wrap it. We've been going for an hour, a little over an hour, and or actually more. We've been away for more than an hour. Okay. So I was thinking to close this out on maybe a small drink, and if you can reach the thinking and drinking game, and what's over there.
This is a socket.
That's a socket. You're right. But right there, take those headphones off, and let's do what we've done before.
What's this?
I think you and I've done it before, haven't we?
We have not. Oh shit! Speaking of, I got this damn bottle out of the way. So I just got to try these. I don't know if I feel anything yet. You've been taking these, right? These magic blends.
I'll give you. You've taken one. I'll give you two more before we leave.
Okay, so just take a little bit. You were telling me about this. Like it's supposed to help the brain. The adaptogens help out with the stress, bruh. Like sometimes, I mean, especially with everything in the just social media stress you out.
So Mastermind, I talked about it earlier in the podcast. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anyway, but yeah, take 2. You're supposed to take them for at least 3 days.
Okay, so 1 a day.
1 a day.
All right.
And to start getting the full effects from it. It's just a nootropic.
Okay.
They are helping out with the podcast a little bit here.
Sweet.
So
I'll definitely drink a couple. I'll give you some feedback on it.
Okay, good. I'll give you 2 more before we leave the house. But that's kind of their thing, though. Is like, hey, just don't drink 1 and expect to get benefits, but drink 2, and it's supposed to like build up in your system.
Drink 1. Add 3 inches to your dick immediately.
Sweet. Like, say less.
Why is it fat?
Yeah. What happened?
What am I going to do with this? It looks like a bee sting.
But it's also. I love nootropics. I don't know if you and I ever, but there's Joe Rogan has one. It's Alpha Brain.
Yeah, I think we've brushed on that, but like early into the podcasting days.
Yes, I used to take those. There's a pill for him.
Okay.
And supposed to help your brain think better.
Do you feel smarter?
Well, that's one thing I wonder.
Half a bottle of whiskey between the 2 of us. How do you feel?
Yeah, was it placebo effect?
The placebo can be a part of it, and it's also, everything has to be balanced against the idea of the placebo effect versus the actual effectivity of the drug. So it's like, do you feel better because you plan to feel better, or do you feel better because it's working? And it's difficult to tell. Typically, it's longer term studies will show whether or not it's placebo or not, but not always. It's strange because the faith curve for the placebo, and I think there's a better name for it. I call it the faith curve. Is like, if the amount of faith you have in something remains high, then the placebo effect is also high. But when that starts dropping, then obviously if it's still working and you don't have any faith in the product or the thing, then it works. And if not, then it's placebo. Right?
Yeah. There's a couple. There's another study I was reading. This one guy.
I'll give it a couple days though.
Yeah, do it, man, and just see. I don't know. Like, I love it. It's good. It's quick. I don't know.
Comes from the U.S., made out of Venice Beach.
Yeah. There's just a lot of arguments, like especially nowadays, because I think it has lion's mane in it and ashwagandha, and which people are...
Dude, it has ashwagandha?
Yeah, and there's a lot of people like with lion's mane. That's supposed to it's like the Stone 8 theory and stuff. Like it's like eating mushrooms, and that's why our brains
apes together strong
grew to what they were because apes would go down there and that's another. Oh, we don't have to. I'm going too side tangent now, but Chimp Empire on Netflix. Been watching a couple episodes.
I haven't seen that. It's good.
Might be worth watching, man, because it's like this group of people like followed a chimp's
day to day
tribe. Yeah, like their little clique, and now I'm only like 3 episodes in. Now there's these other people trying to take over the leader of the not the other people, other chimps are like, hey, we're going to try to take over our leader because he's getting old. It's like, hey, so it's getting good now. So
all right.
Anyway, all right. So for those who are watching or those listening, John and I, we are playing the thinking and drinking game. It's a random acts of or random questions here.
So what did you pick up? Brown box.
There's 5 different decks. Yeah, they've all been opened. I played it a couple times with friends.
I didn't grab my brown pants.
Oh, should we go green or?
I have no fucking idea.
You want to choose your fate?
I have no idea.
So usually it can be like a deep question that could be like, hey, what do you actually think about life, or what are you most afraid of, or something like that. Or it could be just, who's your favorite superhero?
It's a cross between Iron Man and...
Well, you don't have to ask that or answer it, but that's usually what it is.
I want to answer it.
Okay, these are the type of questions. Or it's like, hey, draw a sheep. And I was like, what? So it's like meant to be played with like a bunch of friends and stuff and just get to know each other. Kind of like an icebreaker, but a little bit deeper thought.
Okay. That's something that the 2020s and virtualization, I've hated that because I just got a game. I did a review of it online. And again, thanks to the 3 people that are watching. Thanks, Mom. But, it was Old Gods of Appalachia finally made a tabletop game.
I saw you post that.
Yeah, and I just started reading the book last night because it is a wealth and a thickness, and I'm engrossed. I'm in it to win it. I'm going to be doing and hosting a section. I'll be the DM. But if you don't listen to the podcast, Old Gods, it's a horror. They label it a horror anthology podcast, and I don't have any money off this. So if guys, I don't want any money from you, by the way, of people at Old Gods, but I'd love like shit to meet you guys. They came to Radford, and I wasn't able to make it because he got sold out. It was gone. and it was all the people who did the creation and stuff. And they just seemed like a really genuine, great group. And in the book, they reference or like, you call it Appalachia, like someone threw an apple at you. I was like,
Appalachia.
I
know, because I've heard that too. And I was like, huh? What are you doing?
I've always said, well, you latch a door, you don't lace it.
Okay, I like that. That's a good way to remember it.
But all right, let's.
Okay, here we go. So first card.
ADHD is strong.
Do you want to do like 3 or 5 cards?
Dude, I have no idea how this shit works. You're gonna have to.
It's literally just a card.
Walk me through this like I am a child.
Here we go for 1 card then.
Okay. All right. So is this
what is
to
something?
You or me?
Well, I think we should both answer it.
Okay.
Or actually, we can do it this way. I pick this card, you answer it. You pick the next card.
All right, let's go.
And I'll answer it.
Shuffle the
Okay,
deck.
that's fine. And we'll put the cards off to the side.
Yeah.
So I'll pick the first card off the deck, or top of the deck here. What is something you should work harder at?
My personal physical health. And this is something I've immediately realized. I say immediately realized, like now. My fat ass has been that way for quite some time. And I've went through periods of greater health and less health. And I think 2019, I told you, like my back blew out because I was sitting in IT and just like, too much. And, you know, like I've gotten into a much better shape. Like my back through physical therapy and things have much improved. And now it's just, I've gotten to a spot where I'm fairly comfortable.
Okay.
But now I need to start pushing into like getting, I don't want to say like in Sheeler shape, hashtag, but
Sheeler shape.
But, you know, like getting into being able to do more stuff well, because while I'm damn near 40, I'm not damn near 80.
True.
And like there's plenty of stuff to do and plenty of things I can do. And I think, and you know this from your undergrad of being a physical therapist, the men's muscular aptitude, like the peak is 45, isn't it? 40, 45-ish?
There's a lot of different studies on that, so it depends on who you ask and what you're reading. But
How much orange you taking?
also that, but also it used to be late 20s. Now a lot of people are saying like 30s, but that was a pretty old study. So based on me, I'm 37 and I'll be 40 in 3 years, and I still feel
young, so full of life.
And I still feel like, okay, I've not reached peak anything. Like because I've hit a couple PRs in my recent workouts, and I was like, wow. Because there was some studies like, oh, after like 33, you're not going to be hitting.
You're an athlete
anything.
under 33. It's a miracle he's still here.
Basically, yeah. Even like, you know, like like pro athletes, like, oh, he's 30.
Yeah.
Dude, put him out the pasture, bro.
Like Brady retired because I think he just realized that dating somebody that wasn't like a top tier Veronica's Secret model is for the birds. But he's like, if I'm going to get out there.
But yeah, but that's kind of what it is. Though, like, because I'm like, well, I think there's a lot of other science and other variables that should be played into that people are not taking into effect, and so and that's just Chris Sheeler opinion too. That it's like, well, if I'm 37, if I still hit I hit a front squat PR, like the most I've ever squatted. Yeah, like literally a few weeks ago, 305. Yeah, bro, 300 club, baby. Let's go.
That's it.
No big deal. But anyway, I was like,
I'm also in the 300 club, different area there.
So I was like, well, is that just because, you know, I'm kind of devoted yes, we're drinking tonight and stuff, but I've also, like, when I'm not doing this, like, I watch, you know, I try to get 8 hours of sleep. I try to, you know, limit alcohol to weekends. During the week, I eat what I eat because I know it makes me feel good, and I don't have any weirdness going on. Like, I know how my body reacts, things like that. So I take care of myself.
Yeah.
You know, I don't smoke, obviously, but I don't think that's, you know, is that an everyday person? No. I mean, because some people are just...
Could be, but it's not for most because, I mean, I had Taco Bell before I got here because I wanted to make sure if we were having some whiskey, I wasn't like...
But, you know, and also I'm a person who has exuberant energy, and just like, you know, even with this weekend going down to Charlotte, like that's why I brought my bike, because like, hey, let's ride.
I went for a night ride.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
And that's cool too, because it's like you're still being active, but it's not like a workout at the same time for me. Yeah. Like, hey man, we're just chilling, man. We're enjoying. Like, we were blasting music. We were just talking like little girls as we were riding, man. It was just, and this is cool, you know. Like, we're kind of working out, but not working out at the same time.
Right. Good.
Go ahead. Choose a card, bro. Choose the destiny.
Best line you've used or had used on you. Wow, right off the get, huh?
Oh, best line. Well, this is one of your stories you told on the podcast, though. Like, talking about shiny nose ring, baby.
Yeah. Tell that shiny nose ring.
Yeah, shiny nose ring, man. 7-Eleven. You tell it better than I do. But like, long story short, though, 7-Eleven one night, hammered from BT's. I guess we walked over to get taquitos. That's what we used to
I was
do
drunk.
at 2 a.m.
You were hammered. Dude, you weren't even talking English.
But anyway, saw a girl in line to get these taquitos, and for whatever, I thought her nose ring was... She was gorgeous, too. But for some reason, I was
I'm going to pause you for a second. I really have to tell this part of the story.
Okay, let John tell it, man.
All right. I'm going to let you finish it. But, so, I'm right behind you. And you turn around and you look me right in the eye. And you're like... And you turn around to this girl. And, I mean, she's a good-looking girl, blonde. Obviously, she has a nose ring, which is key to the story.
I don't know why I was like a crow, man.
And all of a sudden, you go, hey, yeah, tell you what, my name Chris. Yeah, I'll be doing the thing. I go around. Like, you're talking gibberish. I can't understand a fucking word you're saying. And I'm looking at her face, and she can't understand a damn word you're saying either. And you're like, yeah, I'll be doing work. I have no idea what's coming out. And you start gibbering like a baby for a minute and a half. And she's looking at you, very confused. I'm like, what is going on here? Finally, again, shiny nose ring, clear as a bell. And this girl looks at you, and God is my witness. Yeah, my nose ring is shiny. Do you want my number? And you're like, yeah. And you look at me, and you're like...
I was so happy, man.
I was like, dude. And I was like, teach me.
Dude, that was it, man. And I don't even know if that's a pickup line, but whatever.
Dude, it worked. It worked.
Yeah, it worked, man. But I'm trying to think of anything else that has tried or have tried. I did hear one, and this is coming from the Hitch movie, Will Smith.
Yeah.
And I've always wanted to try this, and I haven't had the chance yet. But
kick him in the face. So many bad parts of that.
But anyway, there's one line he says that if you go to kiss a girl, you should go 90, then let her go 10.
I feel like that, though, is just common courtesy. Again, like somebody goes in for... Like, you should never go in 100% for a kiss, even if, like, a girl's going to do it first. Yeah. Like, she should lean in. Like, give the other person the respect for being able to reciprocate or turn it down. Like, I mean, if you go in and it's 90%, it gives her 10% to be like, nah, I'm not into it. Yeah. And she can back out. And that's respectful. That is consent. And similar, like, girl goes in 90%, like, maybe the guy's not vibing it. That happens. Yeah. So you need to be able to have that, like, 90-10 rule, I think, is solid. Mm.
Oh, and another one. And this is from Bert Kreischer. He's a comedian.
Yeah.
Okay. Bert Kreischer and Rob Lowe.
Machine never breaks.
Okay, yeah. And Rob Lowe was on his podcast. And they were kind of talking about, like, how to make a first move. And I don't know if they said pickup line, but more of his first move. And Rob Lowe said he was going to tell this to his kids, in which I have some questions about this line or whatever. But he said, if you're ever nervous, if you're ever going to go do something or ready to make a first move or whatever, tell the girl or opposite sex, I guess, or whatever, same sex, I guess, in this age.
Whatever you're into.
Yeah, okay, exactly. That I'm
going to kids. I'm going to draw a hard line there. I might get canceled in the future, but nah.
Yeah, ask age. Do that first. Maybe that should be the first pickup
18 plus.
Okay, but anyway, he was saying, like, you should ask, or you should say, like, hey, I want to go take a bath. And then if they follow you in there, then you know that you're ready for a first move. And I was like, I don't know if that could go a couple of different ways, man. Like, how many people want a first? Is it like when you say first move, like first kiss or first date,
holding a hand?
Yeah, like how many of you want to take a bath? I don't know how many people actually want to go follow you into the bathroom, or maybe I heard this wrong too. But
see, like somebody follows me into the bathroom, like usually I have to shit before I shower, so like, it's gonna be real weird, real quick.
Yeah, so I was kind of like, I don't know about that. It kind of makes sense because it kind of gives you like, hey, if they actually follows you into the bathroom, then they want something. But also it was like, well, okay, go take a bath then, dude. Like I'll just wait here.
I'll see you stick your ass in a minute when you take care of that. All right,
here we go.
Hit me with one more. It's an interesting little game, though.
Yeah, man, it's kind of fun.
And the boxes have like different.
There's this. So if you read, they're all like questions from like a different brewery.
Oh, okay.
Yes, and I guess they send them in, and so there's no like, hey, this is like love, and this is like philosophy or whatever. They're just
science.
They're all just random. Yeah, exactly, just random. So who knows what we get here? Other than your bed, where's the last you slept?
Back of my truck.
Where's the last you slept? Where's the last you slept?
Back of my truck. Oh. So
camping?
Yeah. Went camping, and so I've got the back of my truck set up specifically to do camping.
You pulled in?
Yeah, it looks fresh. Feels good.
Liked it.
So I put I have a roll-out mattress pad, and a flat blow-up mattress pad, and I throw it back there, and it's on top of the deck system, and I've got the camper shell on top, so literally I just sleep back there when we're camping. It's smooth, it's easy. In the morning, when I want to put up the tent, I just shut the door.
Easy.
Done.
Done and done.
Too easy.
Too easy.
All right, hold on.
Let's keep going until we finish the drinks. Because we've been going for, I can upload to almost 2 hours, so we're good. We got at least another hour and a half, so we're good. Yeah, we got to do 2 parts, whatever. Like,
Ooh.
oh, is this a good one?
I want to answer this one also.
Okay.
But
I'll go first.
Time travel or space travel? I know my answer because of the way I'll answer it, but I'm going to let you go.
Okay. When you first asked it, my first thought was time travel because I'm a Back to the Future kind of guy. I love that movie.
Gotcha.
And I just always think about, like, man, what would we like going back in time and, you know, maybe trying to replay events and
Ooh, butterfly effect though.
Exactly. That was my next point. But also, like, even though it was like, hey, was there a great point in time that you just wanted to witness and stuff? I'm like, right, yeah, cool. Like, let's go check out the Civil War. I don't know. See what happened, man.
What was it, Indiana Jones, when they went back and it was the siege of Athens or something? I can't remember because the last Indiana Jones was
the newest movie. They
tried really hard and they had a lot of great actors and it just really didn't come together.
Yeah,
it's like they were trying too hard in the wrong spots.
Trying too hard in the wrong spots.
Yeah.
My first thought's time travel. But that's just because I know everything, or I don't know everything, but I would want to see stuff. You know, like I went to Gettysburg and drove through there, and I was like, I wonder what this is really like, you know, back in the day.
Right.
Know? But space travel, I'm open to as well, just because, you know, obviously, who was the guy that went towards, I want to say, not the council, the Capitol, and like they actually admitted, like, oh yeah, we do have stuff from not of Earth.
Oh yeah, the fact that they announced aliens last month and nobody gave a shit.
Again, yeah. But they was like, no, we found bodies too, and they're not from this.
We got alien bodies, we got all kinds of stuff.
Like, and again, like, it's one of those things that
people are like the rent's too damn high and taxes are too much. So
that's what like a day in, like everyone's like, oh shit, oh this guy's over here, he's like on oath, like he's whatever he was. Like, oh yeah, we have crafts from out of this
like
world.
An expert, a bona fide.
Yeah, and he's the man. And then like 2 days later, again, like, oh wait, what? Oh, Maui, and there's fires in Maui. Okay. Screw aliens.
Like, we have a crisis every week.
Why does nobody care about that?
Our bingo,
I care a lot about that.
Dude, our bingo cards for what's going to happen anytime in this week. I mean, what was it? The theory that people were like, this is bullshit, that there's a Chinese organization in New York policing members that's actually a part, like it's a Chinese police by the government of China that's there. And they're like, that's bullshit. And then they found out it exists. Then there was that lab in California that was funded and organized by the Chinese that had a bunch of mice that were full of COVID and nobody gave a shit. I mean, dude, we go through like aliens are real. Nobody gives a shit. Like we're literally at the point that it's just like, if you're not paying me more money and you're not raising my rent, I don't care. I got shit to do. So.
All right. Well, you said you knew your answer. You want to ask.
Time travel, because with sufficient time travel, you will get to space travel.
Good answer, bro.
Yeah, like wow. I knew that right off the top.
I wish I would have had that in my head.
But you still had time travel. You got it.
Yeah. The way you said it, though, was so elegantly put.
I mean, dude, maybe that shit works the first drink, because I had that right before the podcast. I was like, all right, let's check it out.
Right.
So,
did you pick that card, or was that my... you picked that one. Yeah, because you said you knew it, and you were on answer. Yeah.
No, it was a good one. But, I mean, I love, obviously, Time and Space from Doctor Who, and I've not caught up with that since Capaldi was the Doctor, and I think I'm like 2 doctors behind now. But, yeah, Time and Space are, I mean, travel, what is it? Travel's the only thing you spend money on that makes you richer. And, you know, being able to experience other things, other points of view is just, you can't do that by staying in the same spot. Like you can't appreciate what it is to see and know and do things from a different perspective unless you're there.
If you're not forward, you're backwards, man.
Yeah. First to last.
Are there any dirty photos on your phone?
Yes, and
that was quick.
Well, so and here's the reason why. Like fucking WhatsApp. So I'm in a group chat with a bunch of dudes on WhatsApp.
So when you say dirty,
I mean, you can probably pick the genre and type.
Are we talking about nudes? Or are we talking about?
We're talking about probably anything you want, because here's the problem with WhatsApp. We will communicate and we will say some of the most outrageous, rank, rude bullshit. Like we'll send whatever in this group chat. And so at any point in time, like somebody pulls up my phone, there might be dick pics. There might, like, just to be funny and be like somebody will say that's a dick move, and somebody will throw out a picture of a random Johnson. Might be their own, might not be. It's like, oh, like, have you guys seen a cute chick lately? And one of the guys might be like, oh, here's a screenshot of some porn. Like, or, you know, oh, that's a terrible crash of a vehicle or something. And like, you'll see like a burning car on fire or something. Like, I mean, it's the hyperactive visual response to whatever the group is saying. So, like, WhatsApp, though, immediately will store that on your phone. It'll just kick it over. And so anytime I open up my phone, like, oh, can I see some pictures? I'm like, well, let me go to my actual photos that I've taken, because those are clean and fine. It's like, well, what about your other section? I'm like, don't go to that wilderness of hell, that hellscape of sorrow and madness. Could be anything. So, yeah. I mean, it happens.
I might have... They're not, like, nudes or anything, but I might have a couple.
I mean,
What?
maybe a couple.
Yeah, like I don't save a lot of them because I'm always so nervous. Like, what if somebody goes through my phone or whatever? But there's a couple on there that I can be like, yeah. I might show a couple people, but I'm not going to like. So anyway, yeah. So yes, probably yes, there is one or two, but that's it.
What are you afraid of?
Tom.
The ever encroaching, eternal march of that only thing that cannot be bargained with or broken up with.
Yeah. Serious talk. It just, the further we go in time, the more it kind of freaks me out at the same time, because like a little bit you said earlier with the gym thing, like, oh, we're getting older. You know, we're supposed to just kind of start to degrade. And glad you're okay. I thought you were out there dying or something.
Please.
But it's just like, hey, like, okay. So then also, people in my life, I know, like, oh wait, I might start losing them.
Yeah.
And like, okay, well, how can I react to that? And just, okay, well, what do I do? You know, like, they're gone now, so now I'm on my own. And not to get too deep though, but it's just, Tom scares the fuck out of me, because that's the one thing in life I don't get anything more of, and it also stays in the back of my head, like, okay. Like, you know, like tonight, like having this podcast, sit down with John, man. Like, good friends, have some drinks, man. That means a lot to me. Like, because, again, you know, we don't get to do this a lot. Going back to your video game argument, too.
Right.
And then, like, you know, all right, spent the weekend with Matt. You know, okay, cool, we did that. Like, or we made the most of it. You know, we had some drinks, watched some good movies. Because, you know.
Played some Legos.
Yeah, because the next couple of weeks, so again, it'll be one of these things like, okay, well, you know, you have.
He's getting ready to make the baby.
It literally in the next weeks, like literally within a month.
I guess he's done his part, but still.
But it's like, okay, well, we don't get that time back. So, and again, I don't want to be the guy who's sitting on my deathbed like, oh, fuck, I really wish, instead of like just laying around on the couch all weekend, like, you know, I would have went to that thing or hung out with that person. And so it's like, okay, start taking advantage of what we have. And,
yeah.
You know, like Matt and I were talking like this weekend, like, so. I don't know if Tim would mind me saying this on his podcast, but I don't think he likes to fly. I don't think it's a bad thing to say on here. But anyway, I don't think he likes to fly. So I was like, okay. So we were all talking about, like, hey, let's start getting these trips back together, like, even if it's just once a year.
We'll chat about that here, because there's a trip coming up that
okay, good.
we're going to discuss.
But for this part there, we were talking about, hey, Tim lives in Louisville or Franklin?
Louisville.
Franklin?
Is
our Franklin?
Is it north of Louisville? So
what's the capital of Kentucky?
Louisville.
Is our Franklin, Kentucky?
Maybe.
Where's the Kentucky Derby at? It's in Kentucky.
Yes.
Is it Louisville? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay. So anyway, the whole point of the story is, okay, so well, we don't all mind. Obviously, we don't.
Travel is difficult
for
people who don't fly. Yes.
Correct. So it's like, hey, let's do that. Like, hey, let's go to Tim. And let's do the Bourbon Trail. Maybe see Kentucky Derby.
I totally want to go to the Bourbon Trail.
Yeah, and there was like another couple things like, hey,
the
we
Kentucky
can
Derby?
go out in Louisville.
Kind of money.
And then it's like, okay, so we got Tim involved now. He's involved. Okay, then next year it's like, okay, if Tim doesn't like to fly, where is the next within 6 hours? If he wants to drive, can we go from Louisville? So whether that's like, I don't know where St. Louis is. I was trying to like name off places near Kentucky and stuff. I was like, then let's do that. Let's just go there. Who cares if it's a cool city or not? Yeah, let's just fucking go. Like, it's a once a year kind of thing. Like, hey, we get the boys together like every July or whatever it is, August, and like, cause it's like not too hot, not too cold. You know, maybe
like
even September. You know, let's
Goldilocks
fucking go.
time.
New Orleans. Like, who cares?
You're trying to take me to Phoenix in July, though. You can eat shit.
Okay. Well,
then
go
by your damn
or even like, let's go to Montana, hang out there. So that's the kind of thing that we're talking
Montana
about.
in July, maybe. Depends on the mosquitoes. But, yeah, I'm with you. I'm vibing.
That's it. That's more just like, let's just all pick out, like, where is it going to be this year? Like, hey, if you're in, you're in. If you're not, you're not. This is what we're doing.
Each year, something.
Yeah. Like, hey, where we get everyone together. We all do it. We're still hanging out. Yeah, maybe it's not playing video games. Yeah, we can still play video games, but we're just together, and we're enjoying life.
Doing it. I mean, we had a blast when we went down to Charlotte as a bigger group.
Exactly, man. Even even with your bachelor party, dude. Like that was fun for me. Like I was having a ball, dude, bro.
I would never have thought that Northeast Tennessee would have been a place I wanted to hang out to have a good time. Like if you'd asked me that shit 5 years ago, I'd be like, nope. And like 15. Like, when I was growing up there wasn't shit all to do. And now I was like, oh, man, there's this and this and this and this. Like, because we went to a distillery. We went to axe throwing. We did Frisbee golf. We did...
Dude, it's like, simple things, too. It's not like we're out there, like, spending thousands of dollars. Like, that was fun. We were together. Play Frisbee golf. Okay, cool. That was like... We didn't pay for that.
No.
Wasn't it free for at the park or whatever?
Yeah, parks are free in Tennessee because Virginia, you need to learn something.
Like, it was stuff like that. It was like... Wow.
I pay taxes in this state, goddammit.
This is just cool.
You can make your parks free. I pay enough money to you. We don't have the budget for it. Eat shit and figure it out.
There's money for it. There's always. If you really want to do something, there's money for it.
Yeah. But
so anyway, okay.
I'm with you.
Time, though.
We done? Oh, time. No, that's what you're afraid of. No, we can do one.
Yeah.
Wait, that was yours.
What are you afraid of?
I picked that one because...
Oh, so no, it's true. Okay, you're right.
What am I afraid of? That there's not enough for me to go around.
You care too much?
No, but I have too much that I'd like to have done. So it's not really. So for you, I guess it's the ever encroaching finality of time. The things that you're lost. For me, it's the things that I've not yet done. Similar,
that's
but
part
different.
Of that too.
Like there's, and the doom scrolling that we talked about earlier, where it's like sitting around and fucking like do. Like my biggest bitch is. I spent 2 hours on Instagram. What the fuck did that accomplish? I'm like, if I'm not producing content for people to be able to view, enjoy, learn, and grow from, then what the fuck am I doing? Other than,
Okay.
And cute kittens.
What or who do you have faith in?
Me.
Yeah.
That's it. As I always said, there's two things you can believe in: the sunshine and John W. And the sun don't always shine.
John Dove shining, baby.
Every day. No, I mean there's a lot of people I do have faith in that I can appreciate. Used to be, my cocky attitude has definitely went down in the last few years. But dude, I used to be cock of the walk, whether I was walking or crawling or whatever. But I think having a lot of self-confidence without being too cocky is important because you want to be able to say, I can do this and believe in yourself to do it. So I think that is important. And then, I have a lot of faith in my missus. So if I needed, I know even before we got hitched, if I needed something that she'd pull through for me. So that's good. And, my parents, they're solid. I'm thankful for that because not everybody has parents that they can really lean on. I mean, there's a lot of people they got people they're related to, but no family. Vin Diesel, he knows. Except for that one guy, apparently got was it Fast 2 or 3? One of the guys was on the original crew. We just never heard from him again. He was the skinny white guy, not the one that got his arm messed up. The other one, yeah, nobody remembers him because he's not there anymore. Not Paul Walker, because
no. Was he in Tokyo Drift?
No. No, dude, this is seriously like a side character from the first film that we never see again.
Oh,
yeah.
The guy who drove the Jetta?
No, because he ran away and got killed. It was the other one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You can't remember him. I didn't remember until somebody called it out. I was like, oh, that guy.
The guy who used to hit on Paul Walker's girl?
No. No, I'm telling you,
I'm trying to name everybody in the cast.
It's the only one you haven't mentioned, and I can't think of who it is to tell you. But it wasn't the guy that was good with programming the cars. It wasn't the guy that was with Mia.
Doesn't he have like a slick hair back, and he's like, "Oh man, we got cops."
Yes, I think that's it. I think that's the
And
guy.
like, you never see him again.
Even
He's
though
in a
it's
movie, but
how do you know him? I grew up with Dom. We were close.
But yeah, I don't remember him in the.
He's never there again.
Too
Never.
Fast, Too Furious.
Dude, he's not
They bring
there
Tyrese.
in like. I don't think he's in the second one.
He's
I don't
not
think
in the rest of them.
Fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Sure that's the guy.
Yeah.
That's my guy. Because that's only really one line I respect. He's like, "Well, we got cops."
Yeah.
All right, one more card. Let's take this one home on this, bro.
We'll both answer. Hold on.
Okay.
Hold on. Let's spin it up. I'll put him in here. I'm going to cut the deck, and then you pull from the top.
Let's do this. You pull a card. I'll pull a card. We're gonna take this podcast home because we're at 146. I can only upload so much. And short answers to this, and we'll take it home. And we'll both answer the question. How about that?
All right.
Okay.
Ooh. Wow, these aren't
Wow.
nearly as deep.
Wow. Name 3 things. What are 3 things? We both randomly pulled those cards. Okay. Okay. Well, you want to go first?
So 3 things that are always on your grocery list. I don't have 3 things. I mean, it's whatever I need, whatever I want, and whatever I get. I don't know shit.
Whatever I want. That's actually not bad.
I don't have 3 staples. Like I'm not always getting milk. I'm not always getting coffee. I'm not always getting meat. I'm like, there's nothing I consistently get. I just get whatever I don't have.
I would say for me, meat definitely, because I'm always like, yeah, I'm gonna eat that in a couple days.
I buy bulk whatever's on sale for like if it's shrimp, chicken, steak. So I guess meat. Whatever meat is on sale, I will get it, but it's not like I'm consistently getting beef or chicken.
I have a person who hooks me up at the gym with eggs, so because he's like, hey, you need eggs this week? I'm like, yeah, put me up.
Does he grow them?
Yeah, or
I mean, I guess he raises chickens.
He grows them.
He grows them. He grows some eggs.
He's got new signs out, man. Oh, he's got chickens.
He's a fucking grow them. You know what I meant? But yeah.
I grow eggs. What? And
So-
then I would say probably I usually get like a random steamed vegetable kind of thing. Like they're steamed fresh, because I just throw them in the, like for an easy quick meal.
Spinach. I usually get like salad mix or spinach mix.
That's
or
usually
something.
my 3 things. So like meat, eggs, and then like a steamed fresh of some kind.
Yeah.
Cheap and easy.
We'll go with that. That sounds great. Because that's as close as I'm going to get.
Okay. 3 things that are extinct.
Common decency, common courtesy, and common sense. No, I'm just...
Dude, like
Now, what is it,
I was just like dodo birds. That's all I had.
Dodo birds, Tasmanian tiger, or devil. Sorry, the Tasmanian tiger's still alive. Sorry. And what's something else that went extinct recently? It's not the white rhino, but
Dinosaurs.
it's close. Yeah, fuck it. It works. Sold. Except for dinosaurs, they grow them now. I think they call them chickens. I mean, I guess like, it wasn't extinct in our lifetime, so that tracks.
Megalodons.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
And whatever the big things they ate megalodons are. Some kind of crazy-ass, big-ass whale apparently was alive during...
Megalodon.
No. The things that ate the megalodons was a giant spear-toothed whale.
I've seen that shark thing.
It was... what was it? It was the terror of the Aegean Sea for years, and it was the last living member of its species. And it beached itself, and finally, like, people came over and stabbed it. I'll have to look up that story.
Isn't there like a huge snake, like Titan boa?
Oh, Titanoboa? Yeah.
Is that extinct or is that a real thing?
Titanoboa was a real thing, and it was a like 40 to 80 foot snake or something ridiculous.
How's that thing go extinct?
Through the grace of God. Fuck a lot of seeing that snake. Like, dude, if I see a snake that has a head the size of a refrigerator, I'm out. Like, I'm not running away. I think I'm just vacating the body. My spirit's gone.
Okay. There we go. Last card. We're definitely calling it.
Last of the last.
What is the best? Okay, this is a good one to go at.
Yeah.
What is the best restaurant you've been to recently?
I mean, I'm always
pee.
partial to Lush.
Lush Lounge.
Lush Lounge.
Speakeasy and Floyd. That's.
Yeah.
I guess we can say that. Yeah.
Yeah. Why couldn't we?
I don't know. I feel like because they try to say like it's not a speakeasy, but everyone knows
It's not a speakeasy. Wait, you can't. Wait, let me look at this eye.
Lush Lounge is what it's called.
Yeah.
That's just a sweet spot. We should hit that up again one night.
Yep.
Best restaurant I've been to. Like, not really a foodie. I went this weekend and we got some kind of deep dish in Charlotte pizza.
I would say that joint we went to in Charlotte was nice. That had all the little restaurants. I like that one too.
We went for like a late night after the game.
No, the place that had like 15, 30 different restaurants inside of it.
Epicenter?
Was that it? It was a place we went to before we went to see Super Mario.
Oh no! Okay,
no,
I'm with you now. I'm sorry. It's like a little
it's
mall.
Not a restaurant. It's like a mall of restaurants.
I have no idea what the name. We have to call Matt.
The place in Charlotte.
Should we call Matt real quick?
Yeah, put him on the cast.
What time we got? Okay, we got about like 5 minutes. We can get him on here.
So just cut it and put it at the end.
Okay. Watch this idiot not even pick up. Can you pour me a quick, small one?
I mean, if I have to.
Okay. Dude's getting in my element now. Matt Dalton, here we go.
Let's do it like little fingerful.
Put this in the microphone so everybody can hear.
Put the label forward so people don't know how much we drank.
Hey, buddy.
Hey, man. Hey, don't say anything weird. You're on a podcast with me and John.
Hey.
Oh,
Okay.
all right, what's up?
All right. A quick question. When John and I went down to Charlotte and the place we ate.
Yeah, the
at
place
the
we
mall,
went to before we went to see Super Mario Brothers. The place has like 20, 30 places.
Optimus Hall?
Optimus.
Optimus?
Yeah, Optimus Hall.
Okay.
Optimus Hub. Optimus Hub.
We were trying to think the name.
Optimus Hall.
Optimus Hall. Got it.
Okay, we were trying to think the name of it, and I had no idea. And because I kept saying Epicenter, and I was like, that's not right.
No, the Epicenter's the spot uptown we used to go to Strike City. It had all the bars in the middle of town. We walked by it last time, and it was closed down. Everything's like boarded up.
Okay.
Every business was out of there.
Okay. That makes perfect sense because we got like a sushi burrito roll or something. Yeah. Or I did.
Oh wait, no, that was. No, yeah, that wasn't there. Yeah,
No, that's there.
Optimus Hall sounds right now.
Yeah, no, that was what it was for sure.
Okay.
That's some great banging Indian food.
Okay. All right. Well, that's what we needed to know. We want to make sure we knew it.
I'm glad I could help.
Yeah.
Anytime.
John, you got anything you want to say about or anything? All right.
Howdy.
Should have came down, buddy.
Yeah, should have been on gears. Should have been on gears. Thanks.
Man, I forgot to get that controller.
Yeah, I forgot to give you a shit.
All right. Well, we'll talk to you later. We got to wrap up here
man.
anyway. All right. Love you. Bye.
See you later.
See ya.
Optimus Hall, man.
Yeah. All things Lego, Optimus, wonderful. Yeah. We got this. All right.
All right. John Dub, thanks for being here. Thanks for coming on the podcast. Thanks to Magic Mind. Thanks to Maker's Mark.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We're good to go. Thank you, buddy.
Cheers you one more time.
Yeah.
Take a sip.
Get the shit. I guess watch it where you watch your podcast. Like and subscribe if you hadn't already. I'll try to throw my version of this video on
anything you want
to your week with John W. when I start doing those again. Slightly different flavor for the folks at home. I'm actually going to be funny on the show now, so that'll be cool. And we'll see.
All right. Thanks, man. Love you. Bye.
Appreciate it.